Entertainment. Good morning, evening, afternoon, and whatever other time zone might be present and available to you guys. Welcome to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more importantly, to the Seven Suns. We are back in the deserts of Zor'aa, more specifically in the tomb that our friends left off in. Our adventurers, let's give a quick recap. So first, actually, no, first, introductions, because we gotta know who our lovely people are, of course. For those who don't know, I am your host and game master, Young Foxxii, aka Lil Foxxii, aka Big Foxxii, aka Loud Pack Foxxii, aka Big Fronto Foxxii. Again, yeah, it gets longer every time I feel like it. And I will be your host and game master here. I will now allow all of my players to go and introduce themselves one at a time, and briefly mention the character they are playing today and where they can be found.
Hey, my name is Tate Washburn. I mostly am found on this channel. I'm starting to stream games and stuff, doing D&D stuff on here, as well as Cyberpunk. I'm playing Wolf, the Shifter Barbarian, with as friendly and as boyfriend-y energy as I can give him. Yeah, you can find me at kinda_writing on Twitter if you really want, but look for me here, generally.
Next.
Hey, I'm Michelle. Don't ask me about social media. I'm currently playing.
True scholar has no time.
Oh, fuck, deceive me. I'm not real.
Clearly, Mitz doesn't have time for any of this stuff, anyways. So you know. So I'm playing Mitz, Mitztone Coatl, our Coatl folk wizard. We are currently with a they/them pronouns today, so please respect this fact.
Or be hurt. Respect pronouns or get punched. That's the rules. Next, of course.
Oh yeah. Hi. I'm Lucian. I'm playing Ploy, and oh yeah, Ploy's the ranger, and he's got a friend named Net who follows him around. You can find me at my Twitch, which is Ublissa, once every year or two, maybe.
All right.
Hey guys, it's me, Sir Heckalot. What's up? I will be playing
know now.
Zenari. Yeah, you do know now because there's been one episode. Yeah, I will be playing Zenari, the Kalashtar Bard today. You can find me at Sir Heckalot on Instagram and Twitter, and mostly around TPK, but now starting to be here as well. So hey, what's up?
And we're so happy to have you, by the way.
Yeah.
Happy to be here, fam.
And we'll go ahead and round us out.
Hey, I'm Dan. I play Mako, the rogue, the spirit of a rogue. I have a Twitter, and it's at LandTheDan, and I say stuff sometimes, mostly pictures of food.
I mean, that's fair. There's also occasionally some good tweets in there. I'm not gonna. You're not a bad tweeter yourself. You know,
Only
I gotta say.
occasionally.
Only on occasion, every now and then.
The fact that you don't tweet a lot other stuff that makes it seem like it's a lot of high quality. You save the bad ones so it doesn't.
You spare us
Only good ones.
Yeah, he saves his puns for when he's talking to us. Honestly, you're lucky, Twitter. Anyway, so I guess we'll open with a quick recap for those who weren't aware or around for our last session. Session 1 began with our adventurers, part of the Black Diamond Tomb Delvers Guild, delving into, as it were, the city of Wadal in Zor'aa, where they met their contract, Shah Valen, a dark elf woman who curates ancient curiosities and different sorts of trinkets and relics of the time. She told them that a party of adventurers of hers had gone out into the desert to find a rare sort of place of rest, to find some relics and some treasures, but only one returned. And so she was hiring the Tomb Delvers Guild to go and check out and do the thing that they literally say in their name, obviously. They stopped to grab some sweet rolls, almost get robbed, and get swindled out of some money for some potions. And afterwards made their way up north through sort of with a caravan. They traveled north, had a quick encounter with a massive Zoran devil, a large scorpion-like creature, which snapped up one of their caravans and seemed to send someone into quite a rage, and then headed north into the mountains, where they found a cave-in, which might have been part of the fate of that first party they were looking for. They then headed off into a nearby tomb, which the cave-in also seemed to have exposed. They then headed into an altar room and were attacked by 4 strange snake-like mummy figures. And with that, we bring us right back to where we are, currently set in the altar room of this place. with the four bodies of these mummified snake or Sethani around them. There were runes covering their sort of what remained of their decrepit flesh, but after they seemed to expire, as it were, those runes begin to rapidly evaporate away. And I believe it was Mitz who was rapidly trying to scrawl down as much as she could of those intonations to save for later. There's also a body of a deceased individual, not mummified, just dead, on the floor directly under the body of our lizard folk friend Ploy, right there. And that is where we settle back in, sort of just as the combat resolves. There was a sort of loud, resounding, echoing roar across the cavern, which I'll spare you guys the pain of having to hear again right now. And we will, let's see if I can't find some decent background effects. Yeah, let's see if I can't find y'all some nice little some. Yeah, here we go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, here we go. A little bit of that. Going. A little bit of ambiance, as it were. A little bit of ambiance. And we'll go ahead and resume in where we were as you guys are settling in from the rush of adrenaline that came with combat.
So, because I made a custom background, I made an ability that I'm pretty sure you signed off on, Foxxii, but I just want to make sure where I can like look at like the leavings of animals, like things that they claw at, things they kill, and learn more about them. And with a big roar, Wolf is like, "Oh baby, oh I gotta kill that," and he's basically going to be looking around for clues like that, but most probably the body in the middle to see, was this killed by a thing that would make a bellow like that, or was it just the sword people in here?
The sword people, I love that. as you go closer to the body, you definitely denote that there are sort of like large slash marks across the torso. It almost seems as if two different bladed weapons came across the torso of this person at the same time, almost in different directions. They definitely seem like they would be large enough to be caused by a blade and not by anything toothed.
It's like very clean, not like
very clean cuts. In fact, you're used to. In fact, having seen more than enough, kills from animals. Most animals, even if they are, plan on leaving the prey to, consume later, they take a few cursory morsels out of it to make sure it's, edible and not poisoned meat or anything. You don't see any evidence of that. It just seems like this thing was killed and left there. So doesn't seem like it was whatever roared. Doesn't seem like it did this.
Okay, just checking. As soon as he does that, like at Ploy, be like, "You can have this one. I don't need it anymore."
I will say, Wolf, are you only looking at the body for these clues?
I think that I'd like to roll perception to see if there's other clues of what might be living in here.
You go ahead and roll that for me while we move on to see what other people are up to.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right. What's everybody else up to real quick, and we'll come right back to that with Wolf.
So at this point, Ploy is pretty fed up with being underground and cold and not out in the sun. So he's gonna kick the body and say, "You guys done with this? I'm just gonna collect some bones and then let's get out of here. I hate this place. This place sucks."
I hate it here.
Wolf is feeling great. It's nice and cold. No more of that hot bullshit.
Well, considering those marks are gone, thank you for getting those. We're not quite done with what we came here for, though.
All right. Well, I mean, if we're done, let's just move on. I want to get some of these bones and then let's get out of here because this sucks.
Also, can we talk about that large roar that we just heard? Definitely not alone in here. There's a critter afoot.
Yeah, certainly a critter. Definitely
one of those around. I think it's the only thing that. Oh, sorry.
We'll get to that when we get to that. It's
We'll cross
it came from deeper in the place. Well,
Well, deeper is where we're going, isn't it?
Floyd just shrugs his shoulders and goes back to dissecting.
For those who aren't keenly aware, Ploy's attitude and mood become a lot less friendly and charming when he's not in the light of the sun.
He loses his sunny disposition.
So remind me, which of these doors were open and which ones were closed?
For reminding me, Zanari, actually. So yeah, combat as the last of these mummies sort of drops dead. This door up here, directly ahead of you guys to the north, and this one here off to the left, the large stone plinths that were covering the doors shift up, grind up out of the way to let the doors be shown. Whereas this third one here, over on the right, doesn't seem to move in the slightest. Remains completely still.
And do we have an approximate direction on where the roar came from, or was it just so loud that it came from everywhere?
It just echoed across the whole place.
Gotcha.
It wasn't. I mean, if you had to guess, you definitely were right in your assumption that it's deeper within the area, like definitely farther within. And so, if you had to guess, your best assumption would probably be like further straight down, obviously. But no matter, like the sound just kind of echoed around. Before we cut to anybody else, I do want to check on Wolf's perception. So, Wolf, you again just keenly excited by the potential of hunting a giant thing that could roar that loud, just begin pecking about the cavern, just like, sniffing the ground, looking at the walls, looking for anything that could, droppings, pickings, morsels, anything that could kind of give you a sense of this. You find yourself over here eventually at this sort of like at the walls around here where the cavern dips down about 10 or 15 feet into like rushing water. And as you start peering down, you're used to very, very sort of roughly hewn cliffs almost, but you're definitely not unaccustomed to the natural sort of man-made carvings that one would use to make an aqueduct or a water canal.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like either of those. In fact, looking at both sides of this wall, it looks too smooth to be natural, but far too rough to have been a man-made job. And in fact, you can see that there seems to be this winding net as you kind of like peer down a bit. You can see that like this cavern network almost seems to wind down a bit from that initial river area you saw coming in here, and like seems to wind deeper and down and network through more of this place you seem to be in.
Okay. Does it maybe look like it was melted in, like acid-y? Carved still, just with some really weird rough tools.
Yeah, probably just like burrowed through almost, you could even say.
Okay.
That sounds like a clue.
Look, literally his ability is look at natural things and know more about the creature that did it, so.
Right.
Yeah, whatever did this didn't use tools. It definitely sort of burrowed through. It almost seemed like maybe it was just moving through here. Like this wasn't like an intentional thing.
Who's ready to meet Monty Mole?
Big bad bedroom mole. Sorry, I had to. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I'm actually not sorry, by the way, at all.
Right, it might be worse. You
something
could
like
tell us
that
that we're
himself.
not allowed to reset our game.
Oh no.
So Ploy, you go around doing some picking up of these like bones. As you begin to like go about the mummified corpses around, you find it snapping off. Like it's almost like you ever had really, really well barbecued like ribs? You kind of grab the bone and like you kind of like you pull.
It just slides right out.
Oh my god! Like the
right
other
out.
day.
Yeah, like you grab an arm, you pull on
Mako,
it.
you don't eat.
You go you go in the rib cage, you pull out a
Yeah,
couple
I
of
had
ribs.
Mako had ribs like about a couple hundred years ago.
I grab the body by the shoulders, shake it, and all the meat flies off.
Yeah, like you're just rattling bones out of here. Like it's
Perfect skeleton
pretty
comes out.
straightforward here. So, yeah, you managed to make. I'll even say, even though normally you can only make one javelin per short rest, I say you managed to make 2 javelins out of this.
Nice.
And you
We're
do know
taking a
that,
full short rest.
yeah, I won't even count. If you guys want to count it as a short rest, you can. But either way, I'll say like the act of pulling the bones was so easy. It's pretty simple for the deploy. Just kind of pull them apart. But if you guys want the short rest here, you can. I'm fine with that. Mostly like regain your health and stuff because some of y'all a little hurt. But
A
so, yeah, we'll
little.
go with that. Yeah. So Ploy, as you're gathering the bones for these javelins, you tie, you gather some sinew from from some muscle tissue. You tie them together with the bones. You make it a sharp point. You make these 2 nice looking bone javelins, which as you sort of like feel against, there's this sort of like, you feel sort of like coldness against them as you feel the bone. A very unnatural cold against both of these bone javelins you grab. And it seems like, it doesn't seem like it's overtly harmful to you or anything like that. It seems like maybe just be like a lingering thing, but it you let go for a bit because you're a bit worried, and you put your hand back on it and you're like, no, definitely still cold. You let go, no, I'm still okay. Then you just kind of throw them away, and it doesn't seem like anything bad has happened to you. You don't feel any like effects or anything. It's unnaturally cold, those 2 javelins you create out of the bones. Is there anything?
Like if you were better with magic, you could make a
I'll go ahead and give
cool.
you guys a rest. Is there anything else you guys want to do during this sort of quick period of rest, real quick? Before
Also, question: what's this thing right here?
Yeah. Can
Yeah,
I?
this thing.
I'm
that
just
is
gonna
a
check out
chest.
these.
These are so to either side you see two massive fountains with sort of large serpentine statues coming out of them, like heads of serpents, kind of breaching out of the pool of water. Pools of water are not full, but they're very far from empty still. You can definitely tell they haven't been like maintained in a fair bit, but they're definitely this is not the kind of thing you normally expect, like an ancient tomb. You expect these wells to be long dry by now. Ahead there just are sort of columns around that kind of like seem to hold like the very high ceiling of the room together. They kind of have these weird arcing patterns around them, and there's sort of three of them, one here and then two on either side here. There's some rubble on either side indicating like maybe there's some wear and tear. And ahead, there's this sort of small wooden chest with some gold inlines around it. Doesn't appear to be opened, but it does appear to have been fumbled with.
Cool. Can I check the chest?
If you'd like to.
Without opening it. I just want to check the outside.
Go for it. So as you approach the chest, you can see that it's just very, very simple. It doesn't appear to be locked so much as like, I guess you would call it locked, but like it's more just kind of like kept in with like a latch keeps it in place, almost like a latch you can usually just undo and let it out. And it looks to be like the latch isn't flat. It's kind of janted a bit. Someone got to the latch and sort of was trying to get to it, but maybe something a bit more pressing took their attention away.
Right.
In fact, you even note as you look at sort of the sides of it, what appear to be maybe one or two like claw marks. Not like creature-y claws, but definitely like humanoid-ish seeming claws.
He's trying
like
to open.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, in a rush, kind of got like pulled away from this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or he got very angry. He's like, "Why won't you open?"
That too.
That's Wolf's solution to that sort of thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you should ask Mako. Out of character, you should get Mako involved in this probably.
That's probably a good idea.
Wolf's busy doing hunting things, but
It definitely doesn't seem locked though. Like it seems like the kind of latch you could pretty easily undo on your own. This seems like the kind of thing you would have to like be an expert lockpicking to undo. Again, it seems more like something took this person's attention away before they could open it, and not so much they couldn't open it.
Yeah. So, Poe looks at the chest, looks at the dead body, turns to the party and goes, "So guys, I mean, I'm no expert in traps, but these two things seem somehow related. Do we want?"
He could have been ambushed. He could have been ambushed by the ceiling mummies.
Yeah. Z just kind of glances up, looks at the cages up there. Yeah, that's probably what happened, but
He looks like he was killed by swords, not like.
Yeah. But anything could be a trap here,
Maybe
so
the swords
better
popped
safe
out
than
of his
sorry.
chest.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe.
Possible, yeah.
We could be in a total blades coming out of pillars because you need to kneel before God or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Wolf loves pulp adventure novels, and that's his entire experience other than this job with this sort of thing. He's waiting for an Indiana Jones moment.
I mean, is anybody good at finding traps? Because I'm not.
Perhaps
not
I
just
may be of
Mako.
assistance.
Yeah. Yeah. Upon saying that,
Listen,
Z's
it's
just
all
gonna
you.
look over at Mako and just be like, this seems more Mako's area of expertise. If you
Chloe
wouldn't mind.
grabs net and goes to lean against the pillar. It's like, listen, it's all you.
Bree and Tamil, your two guides in the desert, who are also still here, and I didn't totally forget about them, I promise.
Of course.
Walk up sort of to the side of you and just say like, "Damn good fight. You folks are competent." Tamil kind of just says, as he like checks his bow and makes sure there's no damage to it, or as Bree does. Tamil kind of like sheathes his axe in his sword and just is like, "Yeah, you guys can dance. Not bad."
I think Wolf would be giving like a hearty back slap and be like, "That was excellent blade work with the axe and the head chopping thing. Very good."
Yeah, Tamil just falls over as you hit him. He just kind of what? Jesus. Yeah, appreciate it.
Chloe just
My bad.
shrugs.
I suppose my concern for your safety was misplaced.
Yeah, we can handle ourselves every now and then.
Good to know as we proceed forward.
And then Bree kind of just nudges at the chest and just says, "I imagine you're gonna try opening that, huh?"
Yes, peer pressure demands it.
So
right behind Mako, and he's ready to huck him away if it's a trap. Like,
yeah, he just kind of like
Mitch
knocks the
pulls out,
arrow
like-
and like kind of like looks and like kind of just like aims at the chest in case like anything pops out or springs out.
Mitch is pulling out.
yeah, mimic. Let's
Back
go.
here.
So how do can I inspect it, or can I check it for any traps? Since that seems to be the concern
free.
here.
Feel free.
What is that? A perception or
Investigation.
investigation? Right.
I'll take either one. Outwardly, there doesn't appear to be any sort of mechanism or thing that would trigger anything. Just looks like a chest sitting on the floor. In fact, you even like tap it a little to see like the chest is like actually like a chest, or if it's like built into the ground or anything. It's fine. Just it moves a little bit. It's a chest.
Okay.
It's a chest.
I attempt to open the chest then.
So as you attempt to open the chest, you fling the chest open, and at the bottom you see. Give me 1 second. Where are my click-clacks? Sorry, gotta get the clackies out. Getting the clacks. Sorry, getting the clacks. I need the clackies. Sorry.
I also just want to point out that we don't know if this is a trap or not, and everybody decided to gather around it.
Wolf is there to protect the squishies.
Right. So Mako, you open the
True.
chest, and as you open the chest, you immediately feel a very cloying sense of darkness into it. The chest sort of appears like almost like absorb light, like you can't really directly see if there's anything inside of it at first. But then, as you approach closer to it, slowly feeling this darkening presence gather in what might be left of what you could even call a heart in that suit of armor, you feel almost like if you had a forehead, there'd be sweat pouring from it now as you gather closer and closer to the chest, barely awaiting what seems to be an imminent demise. Feeling of doom hanging over your chest, you peer down over the lip of the chest and see 6 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Sweet. More gold.
mean, those
Wasn't
are obviously
Mako like
Christian shit.
me?
That's it. Just 6 gold pieces. That's it. There's
Amazing.
nothing. There's like a little bug in there too, just kind of like a little beetle, just kind of sitting there, skirling around a little bit. I don't know where I got in there, but he seems pretty happy. You open the chest though. He's found a way out.
Well,
As you go
either
to
someone
the-
was here before us, or someone has an incredible sense of irony.
Yeah.
Who could that be? As you go to open the chest, suddenly you begin to feel a bit of a rumbling around you. Not much, not tremors specifically, but a slight little bit of, I don't know, like a slight chitter-chattering almost, like a slight little bit of shaking around you. Like the room itself might be even just like jostling a little tiny little bit. And then, buzzing. And suddenly, out of the large mouths of these serpents, hordes and hordes and a veritable flood of these beetles begin to pour out of them and gather in clumps and sort of immediately begin rushing all around you. And while this is actually, all these beetle things will begin to pour out of them. Let me move them to the right layer, obviously. Layer, token layer.
Ah.
These
Oh.
large swarms of beetles begin to pour out of the mouths of these 2 serpents and begin to swarm all around the room, all around you. And I'm going to need all of my lovelies here to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Oh,
my.
right. Picking
Gotta
the
click
token.
on my token.
Oh, wow.
Mitch is regretting being a little distracted and not casting some detect magic first.
Sometimes.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Jesus.
Great, everything's fine. All right, me look at initiative tracker. Okay, so most of you people got your things rolled. Lucian, go ahead and click on your guy and roll again.
Oh,
Like click and roll initiative again.
sure.
Don't worry, I'll put whatever number is higher. All right, so you got there you go. You got
That's
the
a good advantage on your initiative.
well, because he gets it for being stupid. There you go. Sometimes I reward my dumb players. There you go. You're welcome. Speaking of which, let me.
I mean, to be fair, I would have taken a 13 last time I rolled initiative. I got, what, like an 8?
Well, there you go. Do I even have a button for initiative on these things? I thought I did. I do. I got. All right, and then that's the first group, and his second group. Oh, it rolled it twice, didn't it? Damn it. All right, well, 9 and 7 then. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's how that one works. Cool. So we'll head into combat then. Our highest initiative was Wolf, I believe.
Always ready for violence.
And then get violent. Bud.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember the rules. I don't know. I have that many rages a day. So
I think
what I think I'm gonna do. Sorry, that music's kind of loud on my end. Give me a second.
I will lower it, no problem. I can't hear it on my end because my computer hates me, but I'm gonna lower it on y'all end. Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
I will also lower it some through this way. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah.
There you go. Had to play with
Anyway.
the sound a little bit.
Anyway, so Wolf, I think, is going to pull his shield out and nothing else, and basically hold it in two hands and run at some of these swarms, just trying to splat. Because I'm proficient in an improvised weapon, so why not just use a shield?
I am fine with my players flavoring the weapon attacks however they want. So you can roll whatever weapon attack you want for this. It's fine.
No, I wrote down shield because I can do that.
Well,
Go for it.
and feel free, friend. So yeah, you go, Wolf. You run up with the shield. You try to smush flat on these guys, and you. Fortunately, it seems like they kind of like this horde kind of like disperses around you almost. Maybe they kind of like looked up a little and saw the giant angry guy with the shield coming down on them. So you kind of dispersed a little bit, sort of scattered about, and yeah.
Second one.
Second one hits. Damage, please.
Is this gonna work?
You got to
It's not. Sorry.
Yeah, click on the shield button. Yeah.
I gotta. Okay. That's how it works.
Nailed it. 8.
Blam.
So yeah, you walk up to this sort of horde, and you just kind of like the first one as you sort of like smash down, they scatter around you, and then you kind of just like scrape the shield off to the left and like send a few flying off into the pillar over there. Some of them even land in the water and like they don't want them to come back out. They just kind of drown a little bit. And I forgot how much HP I give these things. Whoops. This is the moments where I'm glad where I managed to add it. This is where I spoil myself. The reason why I add ambiance and music like this is so I can take time to just GM waffle and I can just fill it with the ambiance. It still seems epic and important even though I'm just like waffling right now,
You are undermining it just a little right now.
I know, it's fine.
Stop giving away industry secrets.
It's fine, don't worry. All right, Wolf, that's all you got. Anything else?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Unless I can grapple a swarm of bugs.
Try.
I mean, it's
Maybe you should. I mean,
There's nothing preventing you from trying.
I don't think you should. You should though. That's a bad idea.
Okay.
It's not your turn. Zanari, go.
All right. Z is just going to look at the floor of this cave, pick up a chip of mica, and be like, "Oh, I really hate to destroy such architecture, but it looks like it's going to be necessary." And point exactly on this one right here and cast Shatter. So that is going to get all 3 of the beetle swarms. So I'll need con saves from them, but also this causes structural damage, so that fountain is probably going to go down too.
You said a con save, right?
Yep.
They have
So
high
many
con, don't
beetles.
Some very healthy beetles. Are you kidding me? 16?
Although, wait, hold on. This is a spell, right?
Yeah.
It is.
They have disadvantage.
Oh no!
Swarms have disadvantage on area of effects, yes.
Yeah. First one fails. Second one fails.
Oh no!
Third one fails.
Your beetles!
Oh yeah. And I will. Hey, let me roll for the structure, by the way. Let me see how this goes.
The structure doesn't roll con, it just does double damage to the
I
structure.
know.
A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage if it's
Yeah, I
in the
just have
area.
to add a roll for.
For how broke it is. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Roll that damage real fast.
Yeah, roll that.
Oh.
Damage.
Real quick.
That is 18 damage.
For a second level spell, it's pretty good.
And they
That's
are
pretty good.
double damage from AoE effects. So that's actually double damage. Yeah, that's That's much more than the 18 damage, by the way. Yeah.
So Wolf runs at them with a wooden disc, and then you shatter reality.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, each of these swarms, like you basically scatter like most of the swarm. Like they all just kind of like go everywhere. There's still some pockets of bugs left in each like swarm, so they're still there. But you definitely scattered the good chunk of this. Unfortunately, this water fountain here also explodes with water. It sends like a cascade of water down, which just wipes this swarm entirely away. It just these guys they're gone. They're very dead.
And go away.
Very dead. And like there's like water up to like your shins right now. It's like some slight little water. Brika seems a little bit unhappy about this. She has boots on. She's not happy about this. Yeah, Brika kind of gets like.
Aw. Oh yeah, she's just gonna look back at Miz actually and say, hey, nice work. Take a bardic inspiration.
Hey, good job, kid.
My turn.
Cool. There you go. Ploy.
All right, so Ploy is absolutely flabbergasted by the amount of destruction caused from a single rock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can I check to see if these insects are poisonous or venomous?
You absolutely can.
Okay. Would that be survival?
I'll take survival or nature.
Okay. Oh, that's bad.
That's bad. You have never seen insects like these before. They appear to be almost matte black. Like their shells. There's no usually most beetles you find in the wild will even have some variant in coloration along their shells to some degree. These are all just flat matte black beetles. There's never seen a species like this before anywhere. Anything else, Chloe? Go. You take your actual turn now.
Yeah. I mean, Chloe's gonna start by moving a little bit this way. And let's see. How about I throw one of my new mummy javelins?
Go for it.
I'm gonna throw it at, let's say, this one.
You need to hit.
Yeah, so let me roll. I'm just gonna roll my normal javelin because I don't know.
That's it.
Alright.
And then give me damage. And then could you do 1d8 damage, right?
It's 1d6.
Could you roll damage again, actually? Sorry, could you roll me 1d8, actually? Roll me 1d8. We will be doing this extra as necrotic damage.
Gotcha.
So yeah, as you like ready this, you ready this sort of spear, and like as you pull it back again, you feel like that cold, and like as you sort of like feel the intent to throw it, like you sort of like feel like this like pulse of cold energy throughout you, but it doesn't like hurt you or feel even malign to you. It kind of just like feels like cold. So you let fly, and like as it sort of like lands, you see like along with some beetles flying, you also see just like a ploof of like blackish inky smoke rise up from where the javelin lands. And yeah, you got 16 damage to these guys. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Ploy?
Yeah, I get 2 attacks. So
Do it again.
I'm gonna throw a normal javelin this time.
Now we know these are valuable.
Yeah.
Now we know there's vessel. That's a hit.
Alright.
That's 7 more damage. So yeah, you see with the one javelin, and you kind of like follow up, like almost like following the sort of like the inky plume of smoke. You just kind of throw center mass for it, send some more. It's like some of the ones that kind of like went up in the air from your first javelin, you kind of like impaled them, and like it's like the altar next to it had like 4 or 5 beetles like impaled on a pipe on a javelin now.
Beetle shish kebab.
Yeah, pull them out and roast them later if you wanted. Solid little meal. What's math? That's math. Okay, got it. Not a problem. Anything else?
So, Net's only action is bite. Does he have something that's not bite? I'd rather not have him eat beetles.
You can flavor the attack however you want. Don't worry.
Alright. So in that case, Play's gonna be like, "Hey Net, help me finish these guys off." And he's just
Point
gonna,
at them and say, sit.
just gonna come over here and slap him.
That's it. There you go.
Alright, and then there you go.
Yeah, so like Net kind of just runs over and like maybe thinks about like biting down on them, and then kind of realizes like probably not a good idea. And so kind of just like turns and lashes out with his tail, maybe spins in like a half circle. And so, again, a bunch of people kind of go flying. This horde over here, this swarm right here, is looking very thinned out. It's not looking so good. You might even say it's bloodied somehow. Yeah, let me adjust audio a little bit more. 1 second. There you go. What was I doing? Right. Doing the thing I was doing. Here we go. Bloody bugs. Yeah, so they're not doing so hot at all. Not one bit. Math. Got it. All right. So yeah, I guess that makes the swarm our next. Wolf, this one here is going to attempt to do the bitey things at you. Actually, they need to, yeah. So, let me give me 1 second. That's the wrong button. That's the button I want. There we go. So yeah, this one here, as it is swarm, it can move into your space, Wolf. So it's going to go ahead and be in the same space as you. And so bugs begin to kind of like just swarm and like jump all over you and begin to sort of take some bites at you. So I am gonna roll.
Will try.
They will certainly try. Here comes that. I don't think that's a hit.
Yeah, with the shield, then even with advantage, it's not gonna hit.
Nope. They do have multi-attack. So they don't. They don't actually have multi-attack. I lied. No, they do. I lied. There you go. Oh,
yeah.
I fucked up again.
Hey.
That didn't even work. So don't worry about it. So yeah.
Well, I'm still swinging at him with the shield, like,
Biggest fly slaughter.
These two here, they seem like they maybe want to go for you, Ploy, but as the giant lizard begins barreling into and tail swiping them, it seems almost as if like operating by a collective mind. They just kind of go, nope. And these two swarms both run over here and begin to jump on Tamil. I'm gonna roll some things now.
Does Net get an opportunity attack, or do they disengage?
Disengage. Sorry. No, they don't. So Net can attack one of them, yes, at once.
Yeah, why not? You'll attack the thinner swarm.
Gotcha, go for it. Oof! Unfortunate.
Alright.
They scurry away a bit too fast for Net to get at them. It even like slashes the tail and then kind of like bites at one, but unfortunately kind of doesn't catch any of them. And then okay, I gotta roll some damage now.
Uh-oh. I've got a very bad feeling about this.
Give me a second. I'm sorry. I thought I formulated this right, but I didn't do it on the character sheet right because I'm bad.
What?
No.
Yeah, so Tamil is kind of like a flurry of motion, just kind of like batting away beetles as he can, but unfortunately, as you kind of are seeing him like just like this flurry of steel, you can see some make their way up his legs, and like that he doesn't get a chance to swipe that, and then there's some on his arm suddenly, and then at his chest, and as he kind of again it's like swiping away at them. Yeah, he just kind of like eventually you kind of just see him kind of lost in a carpet of beetles. And yeah, there's again just like this the carpet of beetles kind of like tears over him for a bit. And then as they sort of like dissipate over, you can see that like there's like a sort of twitching body on the ground there. Tamil sort of has a bit of foam coming from his mouth and eyes appear very, very whitened over. Yeah, and that's sort of how that goes. Moving on, these ones here will move over here and into Mako space and do the thing they've been doing this whole time.
Hey Chris, can you lower the audio a little more?
Got you. Not a problem, boss. Give me like 65 seconds. There you go. Here we go. The thing I was doing. Boop. Do either of those hit you, Mako?
Are they rolling with advantage or?
No, they're not.
The 12 hits, or the 12 does not hit, but the 18 does.
All right, Mako, I need you to take 13 piercing damage. And you are now poisoned. You are blinded and reduce your movement speed by 10 feet.
I have poison resistance.
Well, then you are not poisoned.
Kinda is hard to poison something that doesn't have a body.
Yeah, well then you are not poisoned, Frank. So then you just take the 13 damage.
They're really just like messing with the leather straps that hold you together, I guess.
Just like clawing at the straps that hold you.
Yeah,
It's like,
Weasel damage is bad for leather. Oh!
yeah, the beetle flies into the armor. It's confused by the fact that there's no body in it.
It's just like, oh.
We just hear
But
this
what are we
clanging.
eating?
We just hear this clanging as it bounces around the inside of the armor.
And then the last swarm just kind of moves over to here and will go into Mitz's space and try to do the same thing it's been trying to do. It's kind of all they got one action, guys. I'm sorry. They're not really versatile in their tactics. Does that hit you?
It does, but
But
absorb elements. Reaction time when I take acid, cold fire, or lightning or thunder damage. Poison counts as acid, yes?
Does it?
No, I don't think so.
Does it? Okay,
They're
never
two
mind.
different things.
nope. Well, you take 8 piercing damage and you are poisoned. You are blinded and reduce movement speed by 10 feet. Don't worry, it doesn't last that long. So yeah, as like
Unless you're an NPC.
beetles begin to swarm over you and kind of like bite at you. The first bite just kind of hurts a bit, like you feel like maybe a bit of like lethargy in the first bite mitts, but maybe a few more kind of begin to get in at you, and eventually you kind of feel like milkiness begin to fill your vision, and it's much, much harder to see all around you now. And it's your turn.
It's okay. So, let's see what is Mitz going to do. Well, Mitz is kind of not very happy right now. So
Understandably.
yeah. So, they're going to first cast false life on themselves.
Cool. Do the thing.
So they're gonna take out like a small bottle of spirits. Just take a small sip and gain 1d4 plus 4 10 hit points.
Love it.
All right.
Big numbers, no whammies.
All right.
What do we got?
So that's 3 plus 4 is 7.
7. Yeah, you get 7 temp hit points. Nice. Anything else you want to do?
Yes, they're going to use their bonus action to pull out their decanter and then just spray and pray that these freaking beetles are gonna get off them.
Okay. Go ahead.
So they uncork the decanter and just yell, "Stream!"
Okay. So what are you doing?
So it produces about 30 gallons of water. It just like gushes forth in a geyser, like 30 feet long and 1 foot wide.
And they're spraying wildly. They're just.
Yeah, it just goes
Just
like.
basically a portable fire hydrant.
Oh, it's a really good magic item.
Water over herself. I didn't. Oh.
You thought this was just like a gallon. Nah, this is like
Nah.
this is
It's
like a
endless.
fire hose.
So everything in like a straight line from Mitz like down like this way in 30 feet. This has to make
Go this way.
has to make a
Go
strength
this way.
saving throw or take
Right.
1d4 bludgeoning damage and fall prone.
Not straight.
Go this way.
Not to
Didn't you know
argue
this is
for
the
my own
water
demise.
episode?
Yeah, not to argue for my own demise, but Mitz is blinded, so wouldn't they maybe not know what direction to spray?
Oh, that's true.
Mitz just doesn't know. They're probably just like
No,
just going around.
Roll for the prey part of spray and pray.
Don't worry, we'll figure that out. Anyway, pick up the strength saving throw. Oh, okay.
Shit.
Oh, no.
I'm just rolling really well today.
Okay.
I guess they do say bugs are stronger than sides.
Oh wait, no, it's no, that's
They have disadvantage because it's an area effect, right?
Oh no.
yeah. So they fail. They fail real hard. they fail real bad.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't do so well.
It's a DC 13 strike saving throw, so it's taking a 1d4 bludgeoning damage and falling prone.
All right, so I will. So yeah, these guys kind of just like manage to like you kind of just dump all the water. They kind of just wash all the bugs off of you, and they kind of just flow away from you a bit. And these ones are now prone. I don't. Yeah, for some reason, the swarms aren't immune to being knocked prone.
They're all wet, so they can't fly. So they're all just like on the ground.
In the first place.
I guess I'll roll a 1d4 for damage.
Yeah, go ahead.
Amazing.
Maximum geyser damage.
Yeah, so there. Yeah, this one doesn't look so great at all because after the chatter and this, yeah, this one's looking pretty rough. Not looking so hot. Anything else, Mitz?
That's it for Mitz. They're just happy the bugs are off, even if they can't see anything.
All right, I forgot to give them turns, so I'll put them at the bottom of combat. So Brika and Tamil will go. Brika will, of course, run over to her brother and begin rapidly sort of like swiping at them with her bow, trying to knock away all the bugs that are currently washing over her brother's twitching body. Thankfully, for some reason, she's apparently really good at doing that. Okay, so she manages to sort of like start swatting away the bugs. The one host you were following, the one that didn't look so good, Ploy, that one kind of just seems like it's probably like wiped out now. That swarm is like perfectly sort of like knocked away. She kind of like cleans out the last of that swarm. The other swarm is definitely looking more thinned out, but there still is one swarm of bugs kind of like pouring over Tamil right now. And Tamil does not get a turn currently, as he is, we'll say prone. He's prone.
He's prone.
Wolf. Back to you, boss.
Alrighty. I'm still gonna try and avoid raging, because I do only get 3 of those a day. But Wolf sees someone in trouble, so he's going to run bodily at, which one was on the ground?
Bodily. I love that.
Which one's on the ground here?
Huh?
Which one of the two is on the floor? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so Wolf is gonna run at him and just try and scoop him up off the ground and drag him away from the swarm instead of trying to get the swarm off of him.
I'm going to see, as there is currently still a swarm in your space, they don't necessarily get opportunity attack, they get a slightly different thing, which unfortunately requires them to make a strength saving throw. And they're not very good at that. My point. You run over to Tamil, and as you run, like the beetles that were clinging to you, they just fly off of you. They can't hold on. So you leave the swarm behind as you run over there. Go ahead. What do you think?
So I don't know if I need to like roll some kind of grapple to pick him up, but the goal is to run past him and just like yoink him out of the pile.
You roll for me either acrobatics or athletics. I'll pick either one.
It may surprise you to find out I'm much better at one of these.
All right, not a problem. Yeah. You pick him up. There's like a few beetles still kind of like clinging to like his clothing or like in his like kind of like buried into his skin a little bit. Some of them kind of fall away, but you do manage to like scoop. Let me go ahead and get him out of there. You do manage to like just scoop him up out of there, and like you see like Brika kind of like breathe a very deep sigh of relief, just like happy that her brother's no longer on the ground. Obviously, Tamil does not respond much to you scooping him up off the ground now.
Yeah, so I can get to here while I'm carrying him, and then I'm just going to put Tamil on the other side of me and face towards bugs.
Cool. Got it. So you're going there.
I'm going to be there, and then he's going to be up against the wall. Just prop him there.
Yeah, you prop him against the wall. You do kind of hear like an exhale, just like a as you put him down, but there's not much else.
Still alive, so last attack. If we assume the grapple is 1, I'm just gonna throw a hand axe at this one.
Go for it. That's a hit. Roll me some damage. Roll me some damage.
Why is it not going? There we go.
Please.
All right. So that's 7 to this one. So you kind of just throw, and the hand axe kind of like skips off the ground, but a bunch of like beetles get picked up in the wake, and they don't seem to get back up as you throw them. Cool. Anything else?
That's all I got.
XZ, get into it.
Okay. I was hoping that last hit was going to take them out, but they didn't. That's fine.
Form 2, remember?
Being surrounded by multiple swarms of beetles at this point, realizing that there's not really a great way to get out, she is just going to take one of her daggers and just like do a little like finger prick and start like weaving this tapestry of like just vile draconic words again and cast Bane at 2nd level on all 4 of these things. So I need charisma saves, please.
Oh no, they fail. They have 1 charisma. They're not- I'm literally not.
All right.
You
All
don't,
right,
like, tap
so-
into the beetles or anything?
I'm saving that soul. They have 1 charisma.
All right.
Doesn't work out for them.
So they have minus a d4 on attack roll, saving throws, and ability checks then.
Okay, and Bane is a spell, correct?
Yes.
All right, so give me 1 second.
Foxxii, are you saying the beetles are not good at having conversations, so they have low charisma?
That's the worst possible. Okay, so yeah, as you sort of like lash out with this vile draconic energy, the magical energy, as you sort of like see it, almost wilts away some of these beetles. Like a good chunk of them out of this swarm just evaporate almost, like they turn to smoke almost from the raw magical force you exert on them. And then like these guys who are already pretty like looking pretty banged up, this swarm down here is looking very, very, very poor at this point. Maybe like a couple of beetles left in it. And then this one here, which is not too bad on health, is also kind of looking, not too great. This one here, which was already kind of pretty banged up from previous exploits like your shatter, is actually just gone. Yeah, like this swarm just evaporates. Yeah, so there you go.
Very nice.
Good result for us, all right.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you give your entities a very specific kind of magical vulnerability.
I mean, there you go. And then as my bonus action, tell you what, I'm gonna use a College of Spirits thing, which means I have to determine tail. So I'm gonna use my bonus action to, I have to roll a d8 first to see what I end up doing.
Oh, why?
All right.
Gamble, let's go.
All right. So yeah, as Z almost transforms the speech within the same turn to back to common and starts telling this story of 2 friends who found each other in the afterlife. They were both wiped out tragically, seemingly separated forever, but in the afterlife found each other again. And I have to use an action to actually assign that effect to something. So that's all I can do right now, but that's what she starts just weaving this tapestry of just different words within the same turn.
Damn, that's cool.
So,
Alright, anything else? That's it for you?
That is it.
Ploy!
Alright, so first things first, Ploy's gonna look around and see if that mummy javelin disappeared or anything bad happened to it.
It's fine.
Alright, because those javelins are real important now. Which of these swarms did you say was looking pretty thin?
This one right here.
Alright, in that case, Ploy's gonna turn the net and say, "Hey Net, go squash some bugs." And so Net is gonna come over here and use his attack to try to stomp on some bugs.
Go for it. That hits. Give me damage. They have 10 AC. It's not good. Okay, that's a bunch of damage. And you're stomping on them, correct?
Yeah.
So then, I say so. I'll give it double damage. Why not? Okay. So yeah, Net kind of walks over and starts happily stomping on these beetles, making a little beat to himself. And yeah, you kind of just see this swarm. Again, there's maybe 5 or 6 kind of. They're not even swarming at this point. They're kind of just shambling around trying to figure out what the hell's going on because most of them are dead at this point. But yeah, there's a couple little beetles left in this swarm. That's about it.
All right.
It's still your turn, by the way.
Yeah. So Ploy's gonna come over here And yeah, so he's gonna throw a dagger at this one to try to pin down the rest.
Mhm.
So do that.
That is it.
Do that.
That's enough.
All right. And then he's gonna throw just another regular javelin at this group.
Go for it. That's it. So yeah. So again, you heft the javelin. You pick up one dagger in one hand, kind of whip it over, and again it kind of like skips off the ground and
Hold on. Can I use my Give me a sec. Sorry, just reading some text. Yeah. So I'm gonna use the piercer feat to re-roll the piercing damage on it. All right. So fuck.
Oh no! Oh no! It got worse.
It sure did, and I have to use that. All right. Well.
Unfortunate.
Well, yeah, the first one is still more than enough, though. You sort of like you throw the dagger, and it's kind of like skips off the last of these bugs here, and kind of just like takes care of them. You throw another javelin, it pierces a few more over here, and again, this one's kind of like looking a little less healthy, but it's definitely still at least a decent amount of bugs left to go in there. Anything else for you, Ploy?
No, that's it.
All right, and after having many of their number blasted away by magic and water and more magic and javelins and a really angry guy with a shield, these bugs doesn't look like they want any more fucking problems with you guys. So they just begin rapidly skittering and scurrying away. And unless y'all want to do anything to try and stop these things, combat ends.
Mitz is gonna grab Z and be like, I can't see a damn thing, point me!
What? They're going away. It's fine. It's fine. They're leaving. But I'm more concerned about, did any get under your skin? Do you know?
Like, I don't know, but this but my decanter is still spilling water.
Meanwhile, Net's just happily going around trying to stomp any bugs that are left.
Yeah, probably
I think Wolf wants to capture one if he can, but
I will let you. You know what? Yeah, don't worry about it. As you look around, there is still. We'll come right back to that, Wolf. Actually, don't worry about it. We'll come right back to that. Anybody else want to do anything real quick before as they're scurrying away, or we let them scurry away?
I mean, like that's why Mitz is being like, point me.
Mako grabs Miz and points them at this swarm of fleeing bugs.
Oh, good lord.
Okay, so Mitz is just like over here or something.
Spraying water.
Just
More
sprays a
like
column
over
of water.
here, I guess. It's like I grab you and then I do a
water
180.
hose. Pointing them like a water hose. Just.
Okay. Since they're within range, it's 30 feet, and it's like it's still spraying, so I guess it's just going around like this.
All right. What kind of save do they have to take? Is it Dex?
It's a strength save.
Charisma.
Oh, that's even worse. They have good Dex.
Nothing is ever dead.
Second one. Okay, no.
No.
Okay, they
So
both.
they take 1d4.
They just
Throw.
get washed over into the.
washed.
You just walk them over the side. Into,
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And so as Mitz sort of has their decanter sort of out, just kind of like spray, and the West just walk away. And then I would imagine Mitz probably wants to close this at this point. They probably want to save some water.
Yep.
So maybe put the top back on that now.
So
We'll bring out of combat now. Well, as you are sort of looking for one to gather, you look over at Tamil, who is still sort of propped up against the wall here. And he does still have like one or two beetles kind of like on him, like one sort of like crawling up his arm at this point.
so I don't know what check that would be. If it would be like
Just grab it. Just grab it.
Yeah, he wants to grab one without crushing it. He wants to like get it by the back so we can look at it without it biting him.
Don't worry about it.
So
Just grab it. You're fine.
Ploy is gonna tap him on the shoulder and pass him a glass bottle and say, "You might want to use this."
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You can just grab it and plop it in the bottle.
Yeah, it's gonna.
These sort of matte black beetles, and you plop it in the bottle and then quickly top it off. And the first thing it does is just immediately begin like mad scrambling for an exit. Eventually, it kind of just stops and settles in on one of the walls, kind of like almost like it's looking at you or something. And that's sort of it. And so as we settle in, a calm takes over this room again, having fought in this room for the second time. The first thing Brika does, obviously, is just drop her bow and arrow and just sprint over towards her brother to begin checking on him.
Yeah, Z's right after her.
Oh. And so, yeah, as you approach Tamil, his skin was kind of like an olivey green previously, like his scales, but it's sort of like what bits you can see of his flesh are now looking very, very, very pale, like very, very. There's sort of a very, very numb weakness in his arms, which aren't appearing to move. And Brika sort of scrambles over, begins to immediately start checking over, trying to undo his vest, to sort of get to his chest and see if there's any wounds. Z, what do you want to be doing right now? What's the first thing you want to do as you
She is actually going to bestow the tale that she just told onto him. So what that does, at least mechanically, is the target, so Tamil, and another creature of his choice that he can see within 5 feet regains hit points equal to a roll of my Bardic Inspiration die, plus my Charisma.
Okay.
So let me
Cannot
just
be a creature,
roll.
so it's just him, but...
Wow, okay, that's a 1. That's great. But he gets, hey, at least it's for a Bardic Inspiration and not a spell slot.
So you kind of you bestow this tale into him, and that's sort of like these runes, and his energy kind of begins to fill Tamil. You can see him like real quickly and like kind of gasp inward and almost like try to get some words out. He kind of like looks over. You can see kind of like the blindness kind of clear from his eyes. He looks over at Brika and kind of like begins to rapidly try to like gasp some words at her, but after a few moments just kind of begins to lose his energy and just eventually falls over silent again and kind of like slumps into her arms. And she doesn't seem to have like much she can say at the moment. She just kind of stares at him.
So Ploy's gonna come over at this point and cast Cure Wounds at level 2.
Who's your target?
Tamil, I think, right?
Yeah, Tamil.
Yeah.
He's gone, friend.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, Brika is kind of just like rapidly shaking her brother, trying to get some sort of response from him, and she just sort of says, "Those beetles, I've never seen any like that. Is he?"
He.
Should have watched his back better. I'll tell Mother when we get home. We have to get out of here first. Are you all okay?
We're fine. Do you want to maybe
a little
wait
dinged
outside?
up, but I'll live. Well,
Mitz
as much
still
as-
can't see anything and is kind of tumbling over while holding.
By this
Gna.
point, the blindness and the pain in your limbs begins to ebb away. You can sort of, your vision isn't completely clear yet, but clear enough you can at least make out distinct enough shapes to know what's what around you.
Okay.
Still hurts like an asshole right now, but you know.
Just slowly walking over. It's like,
So Rika just kind of looks up and just says, "I still have a job to do for all of you. If you'd like me to take you through this place, then I'll continue. Otherwise, I'll remain here and watch over him."
Ploy's gonna say, "If you want, I can have Net carry him."
She sort of looks up and just says, "Well, I hate to say it, but whatever made that roar is likely still deeper in. It probably wouldn't do to have a corpse carried around with us." She sort of offers like a very dry smile in your direction.
I think she'll be fine waiting maybe outside of the temple. I mean, we didn't see a lot of activity out there, and it seems like anything in here is magic and trying to keep this in here.
And much more dangerous in general.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ploy, I would much rather be outside than in here. So I mean, if you want to stay outside for the rest of this, that's on you.
So yeah, I think she takes several minutes to kind of think about it. You can see that she's sort of weighing several options in her head for a bit. There's a very sort of much more trepidation than you think there would be around this, like a simple decision of like, go risk your life or go back outside. But after sort of several moments of very cautious trepidation, she sort of just says, "Very well. I will wait with your mounts at the entrance for you to approach or for you to return. For now, I'll offer him a burial somewhere in these sands. Be safe in there.
Can
You
you
too,
make it
and-
to the outside safely?
I know my way back. It shouldn't be too hard. And she'll
There's
kinda
like
just,
a door.
yeah. She'll just kind of pick up her brother and sort of they'll shuffle their way on out of here.
Be safe, and remember, the two friends will meet again.
I'll see him again. Certainly. And then she'll disappear off that way. Bye, friends. Right. So with that sort of moment of pause, I'm going to give all my adventurers time to sort of recuperate themselves and recover. And we're going to go to a very, very brief 5 or so minute break. I don't know if is Spring, are you here? I don't know if he's here. Hold up.
Oh,
Let me find out.
Hey,
no.
stream guy.
Hey, stream guy, you
hey,
here?
stream guy.
Professional stream.
Hey, stream guy, we need you.
Hey, we need you to do your fucking job, please.
Come
I
manage a stream.
just messaged him. He said he was
We're
gonna
a
lay down.
professional organization.
We're so professional right now, guys. You have no idea.
Imagine.
All right, so as we as we prep to go over to a break, hold up, I'm gonna figure this out. We got it. He just took us over.
Ah, good.
Amazing.
Are we out?
Amazing.
All right.
Oh, well, see you next soon, guys. We love you. Bye. And we are
Hey,
back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Seven Sons, the D&D 5th edition campaign, where we're playing the dragon game, and an NPC just got... I couldn't rhyme that. He got killed. He died.
They just got the mummy.
He fucking died. He's fucking dead, guys.
It was.
That's maybe... Yeah, I also got to get a turn because
Honestly,
I'm
that was
bad.
a very preventable death, and we all fucked up.
Wolf did everything he could, guys. He is fine with that.
Hey, sometimes people die, all right? We gotta, that's what we
Sometimes
worry about.
people
More
die.
importantly, so...
Sometimes it's when they are killed.
You got yourself 6 gold coins from a chest, and it only cost the life of someone's brother. Anyway,
And, his life.
moving forward, how would you guys like to proceed?
Wolf wants to question this bug and the poison and what it means. Because, like, I don't know, could I make an estimation of how beefy the dead guy was? Like, it seems like he didn't take enough damage to die. That seems... Unless he's, like, way weaker than I thought.
Yeah, if you want to investigate, so if you want to, could you roll an insight for me? Insight, nature, or survival? I'll take any of the 3.
Survival is the thing I'm good at. Although I'm also kind of good at nature, actually, but survival is what we're going with.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So, Wolf, you know for a fact that there are some creatures who sort of design their venom to work in sort of like a stacking manner, where it's like one bite isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if a bunch of them bite you, you just get overloaded with venom and die. And so you kind of innately assume this is probably a beetle designed to work in that feature, like the species is mostly designed to like hunt in large swarms and kind of do exactly what they did, which is overwhelm someone with their bites. In fact, Miz, the only reason why you sort of didn't permanently kill, like, get really fucked up was that only a couple of them bit you, so you got kind of just like lesser effect of the poison. But you feel very confidently that if more of them had gotten onto you and bitten you, you might be permanently blind right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Ploy's gonna go collect his javelins and say, let's just finish our job here and get out of this godforsaken place.
Agreed.
This sucks. I hate it here.
Mitz is going to do what they thought they should have done before they got distracted by
6 gold
runes, sketching and runes. And that is a cast detect magic as a ritual.
Oh, okay. What's the range of detect magic?
It's
30 feet.
30 feet around, and if they can sense magic this way, they can use their action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and learn the school of magic.
Okay. As you cast, take the 10 minutes to spend your time casting that ritual. You gather up all your materials. You scrawl out a large circle, magic circle on the ground, and kind of spend your time chanting and sort of gathering up your energies to sort of commune with the magical ley lines around you. The first thing you feel is, and it's almost, while normally your detect magic range is like not that large, it's so intense that you almost can't ignore it. You get the feeling that maybe anybody who casts detect magic around this place would feel it. There are incredibly potent magical, for lack of a better word, ley lines running all throughout under Zor'aa. You can just feel like the waft. It's almost like if someone like turned the heater on and you were like just close enough where you can kind of feel it on your face without like really feeling the heat. You can kind of feel that faint magical energy coming from them. And it's like, again, it's just like the land around you feels deeply connected to this magical energy. As for one,
like electricity.
yeah, for a brief moment, you kind of almost feel like overwhelmed for a bit. So you kind of like refocus in on just the area around you, and that kind of brings a much more sort of quiet silence. There really isn't much direct magic around you. That beetle Wolf has kept in his jar there. You kind of sense a very, very sickly black aura around it. That is definitely not mundane in the slightest. It also appears to be kind of pushing up against the jar to the point where you can almost see slight little wisps of that black creaking or cracking through the glass of the jar.
Mitz is gonna be like, Wolf, that beetle is kind of emanating some kind of black magic that I've never seen before. It's almost about to leak out of your bottle, actually.
Wolf holds it farther away from himself.
Okay.
Okay, and can Mitz determine anything else about like maybe sort of like some kind of like arcane insight on this kind of magic?
Don't even bother rolling. As you sort of focus in on that intense magic, you can determine school of magic, right?
Yes.
So yeah, as you feel out this black magic, the first thing that comes over you is dread. Just like as if you immediately felt someone putting a knife to the back of your neck, like just an abject panic like feeling swells over you. This is necromantic magic, and incredibly potent necromantic magic. Like more potent than you've seen in any of the ruins or tombs or ancient societies you've explored or delved through. This is the primo shit.
Oh.
This is that grade A necromancy. You feel me? That gas. You feel me?
Mitz is just gonna like still for a second, and just be like, Z.
Oh lord.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Yo.
Like this. Like okay. I have things about like I really enjoy exploring things about magic, but this is the most potent piece of necromancy. That one beetle right there is like practically bursting with the most potent piece of necromancy that I've ever felt.
Did you say necromancy?
Fascinating.
Necromancy.
Fascinating.
Wolf
So
Wolf is
between
more
that,
magic.
those strange undead things that we fought before this, those weird. Can you show me those marks that you were able to copy down again?
And Mitz kind of like pulls out
Me too.
and opens to the page and is like, didn't Shah Valen mention something about this time period and how like any sort of person like important would get buried with their guards?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember. It's like, but anyway, so like Mitz pulls out the and shares the notes.
Play at this point
Yeah,
is
like I was
itching to go
saying-
through the door, having waited 10 minutes, and is like, guys, can we talk about this after we get out of the tomb? I hate it
Could be
here.
important.
mean,
what if
there
it helps us
could be
see
something
here?
more dangerous ahead. Like I was talking about before, we were so rudely interrupted by these beetles here. That the curvature of that rune, that umlaut right there is out of place. It's typically one way, but this is more soul storing
Soul-based,
magic and things dealing with the soul. So I don't know. That's very foreboding. I
Can I
don't
see
know
that?
what quite to make of it, but
Let me see that.
Mako, did you say something?
Yeah, let me see those.
Okay, yeah, so it's kind of like
yeah, we're all
Like-
just like huddled around the
everyone's huddled around Mitz's scribbles.
Can I see if these runes seem familiar to Mako in any way?
Go ahead and
recognizable?
you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that you can decide if they're familiar to you or not.
Uh-oh.
Entirely your call, friend.
All right. Seen these before.
Oh.
We shouldn't tread lightly from here on out. We're dealing with, I don't want to say we're outclassed, but we're dealing with something formidable. Or someone formidable.
potentially that something to do with that critter that is down there that we still haven't met yet quite.
Your critter is definitely a word to use
Critter.
to describe the sound you heard.
Sure.
100%.
It's like how Wolf in character. It's like how my grandma used to call grizzly bears critters. It's not really an accurate
detect
description.
magic lasts up for another 10 minutes, so
Yeah, you're not really getting much
It's a
else
critter then.
directly magically around you in this area, Mitz, as you kind of like sleep around. Once you like pull back from that beetle, you sleep around and sort of, there really isn't any other ambient magic around you in that 30-foot area.
okay. So Mitz wants to stay and study some more, but at the same time, someone just died,
Yeah,
and
maybe
like
somebody just died.
It's like there needs to be
Yeah.
there needs to be some balance for that. So Mitz is ready to follow ploy and stab some more of these necromancers. Or sorry, fireball some of these.
You can stab. Stabbing's fine too. Whatever.
Mitz does
All
not-
right.
Proficient in stab.
Are we heading? We heading this way? We heading this way? What's the call?
Mako votes to head north.
Mitz votes to cast augury and throw a die and see which or sorry and throw some dice and whichever one most of them pop out in. Mitz is gonna go that way.
So you're throwing
Now,
a
do you
bunch.
want to actually cast augury, or do you just want to roll a die and in character be casting augury? Because those are both very good.
You can do both. I think that's fine.
Mitz has a bunch of. I don't actually have out of character. I don't actually have my dice with me right now, but I do have a bunch of stones.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
Okay.
Amazing.
I don't know. How do you want to do this? It's up to you. You're the one with the stones.
Okay. Mitz is just going to cast augury, throw a bunch of stones, and cut them in half, and whichever one is in more, in whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, wait a second. Like Mitz is, otherwise it's just gonna pick going left, but you know.
Then just go, then pick left.
Let's go left.
Okay.
I also agree with left.
Feels like
that's
most
the point.
people are. All right. So what's the group call? Decide as a group.
Mitz is
Z
gonna go
will
left.
always choose
go
left.
left.
Mitz is
Sure,
also
left,
always
yeah.
going
Let's
to
just
choose
go
left. So
Very
given a
well.
choice.
All right. You guys stack up and begin to move to the left. You mind grouping up for me so I can grab your tokens all together? Thanks, babies. Get the fuck over here, Mako.
I was literally moving it.
There we
What
go.
is your problem?
All right. So as you travel down, you hit on the left. There's sort of a long, winding corridor that kind of banks at the end, and at the sort of at the place where it banks, there's also a door right here at the sort of like right ahead of you guys. As you head down these corridors, which of you has the highest passive perception, if you don't mind me asking?
Like hell, it's me.
Passive perception.
It ain't me. I have
Passive
12.
perception is 10 plus 4 plus any additional bonuses if you took a feat. So, or sorry, 10 plus your perception. Excuse me.
10 plus perception.
Yeah, that's Mitz is just gonna be
So
like,
I got
uh,
15.
face buried in
I'm
notes.
14.
I have 14. So I think it's
maybe detect magic,
that-
but that's about it.
Cool. All right.
It's gonna
Well,
play.
so yeah, as you kind
Or
of
sorry,
maneuver
Floyd.
down this hallway,
Now you go.
you don't notice anything awkward. As you kind of begin walking down this hallway, kind of like it's very, very strange. You notice that much like the altar room, this corridor is lit by torches on either side that give off a very distinct dark orange glow. Definitely appears to be magical in nature, not necessarily like kept by a flame being lit. You keep moving down this long corridor, kind of following the long shadows you cast, trying to keep, I imagine, a very relatively low profile, not just like screaming and shouting as you walk down the halls, obviously. As you do so, could I quickly know your marching order? Who's at front?
I believe we
Play's
said
my
last
friend.
time that it would be
I didn't know.
Mako, then Wolf.
Well, at this
yeah.
point, Ploy's
I
real
was gotta
frustrated with how
skip
slow
ahead
everyone's being, so
for-
Ploy's in the front with net.
Okay, boy, could you make me a dex save? Then?
Sure.
Oh.
All right, Ploy. As you're walking, you're kind of like just kind of very frustrated with the lack of pace people are keeping. You're trying to like up the marching speed a little bit. As you sort of take a left step, you do hear a distinct click, which you register in your hearing and very distinctly think, I'm gonna back up a little bit. And good thing too, as a very large sort of pendulum style blade just slices by in front of you.
Well, that was close. Anybody else care to take the lead?
And this is why you search for traps first.
Is the blade still penduluming? Do we need to like jump back?
It kind of like unlocked from one side,
Once.
swung by
Okay.
and locked in somewhere else.
All right.
All right. Well,
All right.
Like that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm down with the.
That leads
Anyway.
to cool, I suppose. Ugh.
I mean, Mitz at this point is gonna pull out their 10-foot pole and just like tap ahead of them.
Yeah.
You're at the back of the line. It's not that big of a deal, though.
That's true.
Hey,
Yeah.
As per usual, is going to start searching for traps along
All right,
the
give
corridor.
me a check real quick, Mako. Mako. Hey, between the two of them.
Yep.
Same
All right.
difference.
So as you're heading down this hallway towards where that arc is, you definitely notice that there really isn't any strong sense of. There doesn't seem to be any traps. You notice there's no more pressure plates or anything, any other thing like this. Midst, you're kind of like swinging, hoping you can you feel some pressure before you do it. It seems like a pretty even ground. At one point, a stone shifts and Midst yelps like, "Oh my god!" But then nothing happens, and everything's fine. And you keep moving as you find yourself at that point where the hallway arcs down. Kind of, you see it almost looks like it goes back towards maybe even where that main hallway was going. There's also a door right in front of you guys. Do you wish to enter it?
Can I check the door for traps?
You absolutely can, darling. Knock yourself the fuck out.
Mitz is
Or
once
any
again
ancient
going to also.
Would you hold up? We're looking at numbers. Okay. As you look at the door, it appears to not only be not locked or triggered by any kind of mechanism. It's a bit worn. Like maybe this was one of the more used doors in this place.
Hmm.
Well, Mitz is
Okay.
going to cast detect magic again as a ritual.
You're gonna spend 10 more minutes casting detect magic in front of this door? You're gonna sit here for 10 minutes to cast detect magic.
Fine.
We're just
Mitz
waiting
will
foot
poke
at the
the
mouth
door
of the
with
cave
their
with their
stick
dick. Or
because poking it with a stick is when in doubt.
As
Poke
you
it with a
poke the
stick.
door, it shifts.
why detect magic when you can just poke with a stick?
As you
Yeah.
poke the door, it shifts a little bit. Nothing seems to happen. The door just moves a bit.
Wolf will go through if everyone else is
I don't
worried
see
about it.
any
He'll be like,
traps. I think
Oh,
I'm-
wait, is
I'm
the
the durable
door
one.
on the left or the right of the path?
Oh wait, you're not. So yeah, the door's on kind of like.
yeah, and then us
you
knowing
have
the
it turned
DM. Oh, right, they can't hear you. Never mind.
That's fine. Also, anyway, so not to railroad you guys. I'm kidding. I love you guys, by the way. As you move through this door, you find yourselves in this large sort of side room. There's a collection of pillars holding the ceiling up. It's definitely lower ceiling than the main room you were in previously. There's a couple of vases out behind you all, or sort of in the back of the room. Very, very large, open-topped vases with a slight wafting scent coming out of them to you, Wolf. There's an open bag of what might have at some point been a vegetable of some variety, but time has clearly seen anything on the floor spoiled to just being a rough, mushy green paste. There's also 3 beds off to the side, which don't appear to have been used in a while, but also definitely haven't been made. So whatever things left these or used these last definitely didn't bother to tidy up before they left. There are cobwebs all across different parts of the room, indicating again this place hasn't been tidied up or cleaned in a while. There's a table directly in front of you, which has 2 of its legs sort of knocked over, allowing sort of a collection of papers to kind of gather on the front. There's some also spilled out on the floor, sort of around it. 2 stools stand cast away on either side. There's also an open dresser over here with some cobwebs hanging out of it, and not much else. Additionally, there is a rack over here with a few spears, 2 curved Khopesh-style swords, similar to the ones you saw those mummies earlier wielding, and even a shield or 2.
Well, Mitz is heading over here and immediately going to like dig through the drawers for anything interesting.
All right. Anybody else want to do anything before we go see how that goes for Mitz?
He'll
I'd-
probably head over to the table, but we can get to that when we get there.
Cool.
Mako will have a look around and try and see what kind of people might have used, or see if he can figure anything out about the kind of people that might have used this, been using this room.
All right. Cool.
Ploy, having been told several stories that involve jars in ruins, immediately thinks there might be a snake in one of those, and goes to check.
Yes, there actually is a snake in one of them.
There's a snake in
You approach the first one, you kind of like jab it with a javelin. You're like, aha! Okay, never mind. You go to like the other one over here, and you're just like, hiya! Okay, all right, nothing. So you go to the last one, and you're just like, Then you just kind of smash the third one open, and truth be fucking told, a little cobra kind of slithers out. It seems a little misty, fucking up. It's very, very peaceful looking home, but other than that, it kind of just slithers off.
Well, I guess the stories are true. When in doubt, smash the pots.
It was an adventurer clad in green who told me that
Sometimes
once.
they have money inside.
Oh my god.
All right. Mitz, as Mitz sort of pulls, just leans into this chest and begins to pull out what looked to be mostly just like individual scrolls and missives of different variety. Most of them weathered and lost to time, not been kept out too well. But you do pull out one scroll that does appear like it was sealed well enough to not have been lost too much to weathering. You crack it open and begin to look around it. And the first thing that's weird is that sort of like a bunch of silver pieces, about 80 or so total silver pieces, kind of just like fall out of the scroll into the drawer itself. But of course you don't care about that. It's not important. You shake the scroll out and begin trying to read it, and you are immediately certain this is a fireball scroll.
Oh no.
So yeah, you go ahead and take that and do what you will.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Mitz already has Fireball in there prepped.
Now you
but-
have another one.
One that doesn't cost a spell slot.
Exactly. For when one fireball just ain't gonna do it.
Although, what are the rules for scrolls here? Because I know people play it differently. Can anyone use it, or can you only do it if you can already cast magic?
You can use it. I'm fine with anybody use it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like when you make a scroll, you infuse it with the magic of the spell, not just like you write out the spell. So
Yep.
like, I don't know. I just find that more cool than like, oh, if you can already cast spells, you can use the spells. Like, what the fuck is the point? Like, it's a spell scroll. Why don't I just go learn the fucking spell? Anyway, point being,
It's like, so Mitz is just gonna like quick call
besides
out
the
like.
problems I have with D&D as a concept. Anyway, so yeah, Z, you begin to go and dig around this table, and similarly to what Mitz noticed, it's just kind of covered in a few various things. The first thing you'll notice on the table, which appears to be maybe the least ruined thing, is a map of what appears, you would assume is Zor'aa, obviously. It's a bit colored, actually looks pretty similar to that travel map I had you guys on earlier, actually. So yeah, you found a map. You also find sort of a couple like what look to be almost like ruined journals. Some appear like they've been weathered down. Some of them though appear like they've been torn in half or cut in half. But most interestingly, what you do manage to find is this strange little note, which surprisingly enough is written in common. And Z, if you'd like, you could feel free to read it aloud to us so the audience can have the time.
Alrighty. Okay, for you audience. We are running short on time. The blood gems are beginning resonance, but with more time for testing or enough subjects to fill the reversatory, sure, we simply will not have conclusive results soon enough. The last guard rotation sent this way are all green and curious. Far too curious. They're beginning to ask questions, and I have caught at least 2 of them roaming off their patrol routes to explore deeper into the temple. I won't bore you with the monotony of what I did to them. The guards aren't the only problem, though. Adventurers and other curious idiots have been sighted in the mountains close to here. I fear we may have to abandon this place. Worry not. I will deal with the rest of the guard. The Guardian has not yet been satiated, I would guess, but I don't know. It's torn off.
Thank you.
But, oh lord.
So yes, that's sort of the other notes you find scrawled all over. While a few of them are legible, they're definitely written in a language you haven't had the time to have learned. You assume probably the language of the native people. You haven't had time to tune yourself to yet. But that note, again, is very surprisingly written in common.
Very certain. And the journals are also not in common.
None of the journals are in common either.
And how, like, do I know how recent the map is? Like, does it look like it is very outdated, or?
As far as you can tell, it appears to have been it appears pretty up to date.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a very concerning note, you guys.
See, I was gonna say, if there's green stuff in the corner, even if it's mush, that's like a lot more recent than we've been led to believe this dude died. Like, if this was from him, it would be dust, so...
Mitz is gonna turn around and present the fireball scroll. It's like, it's a working fireball scroll. And this doesn't look like it's been around for a couple hundred years. So, also, if
No,
anybody
someone's
wants it,
been living here.
I'll take it.
Also, that note said something about a guardian. I don't know if you want to fight that or
And
not. Just my
some
2
kind
cents.
of
I definitely want to fight that.
insatiable guardian.
Yes.
an insatiable guardian.
I think we might have an idea of what made that noise.
And it's also calling it a temple, which I
The audience, Spree keeps talking to us, even though you can't hear him.
Yeah,
We're gonna
Spree,
try
stop
and
saying words,
not
weirdo.
respond.
Yeah. Are these weapons? Is there anything special about these weapons at all besides the fact?
Like normal looking, a couple spears, some kopeshes, and like a shield.
Gotcha.
Any sign of how long they've been there?
They've definitely been untouched about as long as the beds appear to have been untouched. Mako, as you're kind of like taking in the surroundings, looking at the beds and the different things, you notice that, well, one, these weapons aren't rusted or like, aged too badly. These things are mostly battle ready. They could probably be sharpened a bit, but they're battle ready is all to the purposes. Similarly, these beds, while they're messily made as if someone hurriedly scrambled out of them, they're not ruined. Like, they're just unmade. More interestingly, though, there's also a chest off to your right there that just definitely appears like it's not old. Like, you've seen plenty of worn, decrepit chests in your time, and friend, that's a pretty fresh chest.
Fresh.
I attempt to inspect it for traps.
Nothing. It seems like a pretty normal chest. Same deal.
Are we really opening another chest? Things didn't go that
I
well last
call
time.
I call Ms. over since. Oh wait, does Ms. still have detect magic up, or not?
Did it take more than 10 minutes to get here?
I mean, no, it did not.
Okay, so Mitz.
No, I didn't all stick backing.
So, I guess within 30 feet of Mitz is if there's anything magical, Mitz will see it.
Nope.
All right.
No magic.
No magic and no traps.
It does seem like
Shall
living
we
space. It would be
take our
quite foolish to
chances?
put traps in a living
Would.
space.
True. But
Actually,
hey,
plenty of
seems to
people
be
don't
more
want
over,
people
so-
opening their chests in their living space.
There was a snake in the jar. That's all I'm gonna say.
True.
Well,
That's real.
So,
Did
so
happen.
Mitz is
Alright.
gonna be like,
Wait, where you do that?
Mako
Chest?
very carefully tries to open the chest.
Inside, you find one strange blue-looking, sort of a flask of a strange blue-looking liquid.
All right. Can I attempt to, I guess, figure out what it is, or like attempt to recognize it?
Go for it,
All right. I mean, it looks magical, so can I do like an Arcana check, or?
please.
All right.
dang.
Oh wow, much better than I thought you were gonna get. Mako, you know for a fact this is definitely a pot of spell restoration.
Pot of spell restoration.
Mages sometimes, especially in times of warfare or combat, if they overexerted their magical energies and like ran out of, I guess, in game context, ran out of spell slots, they would drink a pot like this to sort of regain sort of their reserves of magical energy.
Magical caffeine. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
That good
I
juice.
come over to Ms. and Zanari, since I believe they are the two main magic users, and I tell them I
Well, I
have.
could use some magic.
Oh well, ploy as well then, and I say, I found this. I have no use for a pot of magic restoration. Would any of you like it?
Not I, said Ploy.
Z, you
It
want it?
actually did take a lot of energy to shatter that fountain earlier. If you guys wouldn't mind.
Look cool as shit though.
It did look cool as shit.
Like,
It absolutely did.
by the way, does anybody want to scroll a fireball?
I'll take it.
I think one of the
If you
people who
send-
can't catch magic would find it
Yeah.
most helpful.
I agree with
Oh,
that.
like me.
Or ploy.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I think
so
Mako.
Mitz will hand over the fireball scroll to Mako, and then head over to those swords and see if they can't pick one up and it's like and try to check to see if Mitz would be able to pick one up with Mage Hand or something.
I mean, they seem like functional swords, so like there's no reason you can't pick one up. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if this has ever seen or used a sword like a Khopesh, but they don't necessarily swing as someone who is practiced in the art of martial combat. They don't swing necessarily like regular swords do. So unless Mitz has had the time or training to learn how to use a Khopesh, it might be a bit awkward to her for now, or them for now. Apologies.
Well, Mitz was thinking about actually throwing them with Mage Hand because Mitz doesn't know how to use swords. They're just like, leave that.
Listen, if you really wanted to, I guess. I don't see why not.
It's like because look, Mitz has a sadly lacking amount of ranged ability without spending all of their spell slots. So
it's almost like you're a person that's supposed to use spell slots to do damage.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry,
Crazy how that works.
Mitz cares more about utility than they do about like dishing crap tons of damage. So unfortunately,
hey, listen,
Wolf is here.
Did your thing.
Exactly. So Mitz is gonna take 2 of those Khopeshes.
As you all begin to sort of sweep around and look at some things outside of the mush of used to be vegetables over there in the corner, there doesn't really appear to be much else in this room.
All right. Do we want to move on, guys? I'd say we move on.
So
yeah, what I'm worried about also are the mention of blood gems in this note. Like, she's probably like Zia will probably like collect like all of the materials that were on the table and just pocket them. But just walking and talking. Do any of the journals seem to have like illustrations of something that looks like a gem, or are there like dates on this that she could recognize, like anything like that?
The one journal that does appear to be like fully intact, you can recognize the dating system because it turns out most people in this, while they use different era systems, they use the same like month and year systems generally. So you can tell that these notes are dated in like entries that appear to go daily. Occasionally there's a few skip days, but it appears to be like a daily entry of some kind. Occasionally here there you'll see like sketches. On one you see a sketching of what looks to be some kind of Sethani person. After a few more pages you see some weird markings that you definitely recognize as some of the ones Mitz showed to you. No question. You scroll a few more pages, and what do you know? A drawing of some strange crystal that for some reason they even took the time to fill in with red. And intuition would tell you that's probably one of the blood gems they were talking about. What they do or what they are, no idea.
Can Mako attempt to hazard a guess?
Absolutely.
Ancient.
It's a red rock.
All right. Mako, as an individual who has maybe some experience with the ways one who is curious enough can toy with, the mortal energies, you are certainly more than understanding that there are those certain ways you can sort of, let's say, sustain different things off of the energy of one's life. You've seen everything from spells that drain life to give it to the caster, to spells that trap souls in living suits of armor, all kinds of different ways to sort of like deal with that. And while you maybe aren't magically inclined enough to recognize, any of the markings or even any of like the direct things, as you're sort of glancing at these notes, you almost, I don't know, obviously I don't think Mako blinks, but like you sort of blink, and for a brief moment some of those words are translatable to you, and you see things like blood gem, like sacrificed, like emir. And then you kind of blink again, and suddenly once again they're impossible to read.
I couldn't make out much. The words blood gem came up, sacrifices was mentioned, and the word emir. I'm assuming that's a name, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
Is that like a person of power, correct?
Yeah. See, you recognize the word as like a derivative of another word, kind of meaning like person of power or nobility. And as you're continuing out of the guard room and sort of down these halls, The one thing that kind of disturbs you guys the most is, whereas that first hallway at least had one nice jump scare trap to kind of almost maybe murder one of you, this second hallway seems way too quiet. There's just nothing there. You walk, Mitz spends the first few minutes like sleeping back and forth with her things, and then just doesn't really see much. And it's like, oh, it seems like this place, maybe they're... And also, sort of as you begin to, Mitz, you begin to think maybe the whole point was that people were supposed to walk this way at some point, which is why it's not as trapped.
And talk this way.
Oh, please stop. And as you continue to move, I need to gather up you guys' tokens. I had to get the tokens together. All right, I did it. You find yourself eventually ending up in...
We dispersed.
I fixed it. Don't worry. You find yourself eventually coming down to a sort of really massive door. It almost looks like much bigger than the door you initially passed through to enter, but unlike there's no riddle or magical element to open this door. It's just two massive arcing stone doors. However, there are runes, not magical runes, just inscriptions, carvings carved into the doors in that same language you saw in the notebooks, the long passages sort of carved into these doors that, just out of your first initial guesses, you guys have spent enough time delving in tombs that you've seen like decrees of worship before, and so you can definitely tell this is like a prayer or a myth or something like that.
A story.
Yeah, of some capacity, definitely. And as you kind of peer sorry, Mitz, go ahead, please.
Can Mitz make a religion check on this?
You?
If they know anything?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
So as you sort of look at these, you can sort of recognize, you follow the line structure for a bit. You maybe spend like several minutes kind of just staring at this going, And everyone was like, yo, what the hell are you, what are you humming at? Come on, give us something. You're kind of just like, And then eventually you recognize that the line structure follows a very similar pattern you've seen. You've seen a couple different, most historians call them what are called the blood hymns. They're usually in ancient religions, different prayers or stories that were sort of said or sung before an individual was offered a sacrifice to a deity or a god or something like that. And while you definitely can't tell any of the words, if you're assuming the line structure follows the way the lines flow on the door, the breaking the lines almost perfectly follows the rhythmic flow of those blood hymns.
All right. So Mitz is gonna relay this while also looking kind of This is. I'm not sure if we should be heading in through this door, since this is
As you say this,
Perhaps sacred.
As you say this, you turn around and notice that it looks like there's maybe 3 or 4 different pathways in this place. All of them seem to converge here.
Alrighty.
Looks like this is our only option.
And it also looks like this is perhaps the temple they were mentioning beforehand.
Yeah, as much as it maybe is sacred, and we should respect that. Also, we're here to get the magic items that we were asked for, and this is be the place it's at, right? This is the big important place.
Something tells me it's not going to be as simple as in and out, but I gotta do what we gotta do, no?
Well, also worth mentioning, you guys do remember you found that cave-in before you even found this place. So, Wolf, you aren't even 100% sure this was originally the place you were supposed to go into. In fact, you're maybe pretty sure that the way to get into where you're supposed to go is maybe a little caved in and impossible to get to now. Hence.
So this is a completely different building. They just also wandered into the wrong building.
Pretty much. Well, it's not even basically, yeah. So, and so we'll go, as I move you guys into here. So you enter into this very large room, and the first thing you notice is that this place sort of gives itself back into the cavern naturally at some point. The sort of like stone-hewn walls eventually kind of break off into the natural stone of the cavern eventually. There still are 2 lights here to kind of keep this large cavern lit. As you enter in, the first things you notice are a massive sort of altar-like structure in front of you, made mostly of a dark black stone. There are 2 large brazier-like structures on either side, filled with a strange sort of red flame-like substance. It's not necessarily fire, but it does glow and give off warmth. There are 2 statues of guardian-like figures in front of it, kind of standing in repose with like some weapons sort of held at the ready. And all around you, covering the cave walls are these dark red gems.
Ethereum.
Some of them are glowing brightly. Others appear very, very dormant. And in fact, just as you enter here, 4 of them, like 4 individuals kind of scattered, 4 individuals scattered around, suddenly glow. 4 ones that were dim just light up.
Guess we found our blood gems.
Mm-hmm.
Game like that, what could possibly go wrong?
I mean, we don't have to grab all this. Like, we don't have to take any with us if we are worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I assume something called a blood gem is probably not 100% safe and benign. You don't name, a tasty treat a blood gem.
Well,
That's
now that
very
you've said
fair.
that,
And
we should make a candy.
Not good.
I had a
Great.
feeling this would happen.
You look forward, and there's a flowing water pathway carved deep into the canyon wall that ends at a large waterfall pooling. And that waterfall is moving for some reason. And
From there being a cave behind the waterfall.
as you look sort of towards you're moving forward, you hear this incredibly loud, gaping, roaring sound like a challenge. And suddenly, a serpentine head bursts
Oh, jeez.
through the waterfall. Darlings, initiative again, please.
Yeah. There's no way I roll well again, right? That's just not
Definitely not.
happening.
Oh.
Aha! Mitz finally does not roll.
All
Pretty
right,
good.
let me get the
You just
turn.
wait until 7th level where I have advantage
Okay.
at that.
Exactly. All right, so is that all of you guys, or did I miss somebody?
No, you're missing me.
Yeah. Hang on, Lucian. I can do that for you. Give me a second. Well, I checked for Dan first, and then I realized that he was already there. So I was like, okay, cool. It's all good. We're at turn, and then you have initiative 7.
Yep, I real slow this time.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. And then Wolf, Zenari, do either of you have preference on which of you goes first? Since you both rolled 17, I'll let you two decide between the two of you.
I mean, probably has the higher dex score than I do, so I have a
Yeah,
plus
but
one.
I don't always like doing it like that, especially if it's like
Oh.
players. I'm just like, if it's
I mean, it's probably better. It's probably better that Z goes after
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, if it's in character, Wolf is like chomping at the bit, but
Yeah.
If it's 2 players, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, no, go for it. Anywho, let me do this thing now. Okay, that's not actually that's not bad. It's actually not one to roll. Well, you had a 7, right?
Yeah, sure did.
Okay, so let me fix that for you. And then let me add a turn for this thing, and we'll go ahead into first turn, where I believe Mitz, you are up first. So yeah, sort of this strange, large, massive serpentine figure kind of begins to weave itself out of the waterfall. The first thing you notice keenly is that this thing does not appear to be made of flesh. Its head appears to be primarily bone, or like the pure white of bone. And then all behind it, the scales trailing down it, while some of them are like flaking and falling away, they're mostly stone. There's even a few rare gems kind of in places around it. Let me, go, do the turn thing.
Do the turn thing. Okay. So Mitz is not entirely certain of what to do beyond. Holy crap! That's a really, really big serpent. But now's probably a good time to slam things with the giant ass fireball. So
yeah, before people get in melee range with it.
yeah. So Mitz is just going to cast fireball and so point a finger and like just like this giant like ball just like expands in front of them, and they're going to throw this at this bit. Well, okay, maybe first move a little bit so
Like that? You like what I did there? You like that?
Yeah, I like that sound effect. Very good.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, I forgot I had those. Yeah. It turned
Also,
out
like-
yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So,
All right, yeah, go ahead, cast that shit.
All right.
It's
so
a
we're going
deck
to-
save for you.
Oh, you're right. Let me do that thing I just said I had to do, which was the deck save.
I do like the image of Mitz just like basketball throwing this thing.
What a get. Uh-oh, that's bad. Oh, no, that's good.
It's too good. It's a crit.
Yeah, I crit.
What happens when you crit a save?
Wait, hold up, wait,
In general, but
hold up. Does Fireball count as an AoE spell?
It's
Yep.
an AoE spell.
Oh no.
It has disadvantage then. So
it's the AoE spell.
yeah, yeah, there's only two kinds of situations where I give things disadvantage against AoE spells if they're too small or too big. And we've encountered both of those things today. So yeah, that's a flat 25 damage. How much health did I give this thing?
You really should keep that track of that, man.
You know what? I'm not gonna take that sass over there, Wolf. May I remind you, you told me that scary thing.
Wolf's about to get chomped by a giant stone
You
snake.
gotta get fucked up, son. Watch your tone, all right? All right, here we go. I got it. Anyway, anything else, Mitz?
Mitz is fairly certain that snake's gonna, or sentinel's gonna be fairly pissed and on fire right now, so they're just gonna move back a little bit towards this corner.
All right.
Because, you know, anything that's
Okay,
anything within 20 feet, anything within a 20-foot radius sphere centered around that point is currently on fire if it's flammable.
Well, thankfully, it's mostly stone
Or water.
or water.
Water not flammable? Come on.
Anything else that's it for you? Okay, Wolf, do the thing.
Alright, so Wolf is going to run here and then as a bonus action shift again, so he gets like the really thick skin and hair. I realized last time I didn't describe his clothing, but he's got like pants and like a bunch of furs around his waist, and he's got like a fur thing over his shoulder. When he shifts, it's almost like the fur thing over his shoulder is now his whole body. He just gains like such thick hair that it adds to his AC. And then, yeah, I got a really quick roll of d6 plus con, but for health.
DM, can I be a werewolf? Why? To do more damage? Yes. Actually plays very like a badass. Oh yeah, first time.
So, and then the other thing he does, and the main thing, is as an action, you see him shift the rest of the way, going full werewolf, exactly like we said. Like, visually, it almost looks painful. He hunches over, he gains, like, a bunch of muscle mass, and those furs around his waist, one of them that probably just looked like a white fur, like, thing, actually ends up, it's his tail. He normally has a tail that just kind of hidden in there, but it suddenly grows like much, much longer as he just fully becomes this massive werewolf-shaped thing. But unfortunately, that's kind of all I can do, although I would ask the DM if I might roll, I don't know, intimidation or something to make this thing be like, right here, I'm the one you want.
Please, roll it.
Nice.
And then
Hey, I get no bonus to that, so.
I will roll this thing. Shame. Yeah, so like as you kind of run up and like pat your chest a bit and just like roar at it, it kind of like begins to coil and like kind of weave around. Like it's like slowly it's locked eyes with you, Wolf. It's kind of like weaving itself back and forth. Like it's looking for the angle to be.
Oh, it's just straight up, I'm the big thing here.
What's
Not
up,
house.
All right, Z, go for it.
Alrighty. Let's see if I can actually get up to where I want to. I measured the range from it, but not the range that I need to go.
You gotta have a.
Got 10, 20, yeah, that's good. And yep, perfect. She will yeah, just with the old 1-2 again, is gonna try to cast Bane on this thing.
Do it.
Charisma save, please. It's the bread and butter.
It's another charisma save. Fantastic.
How much charisma does this giant skeleton snake have?
6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty talkative. Pretty talkative for a snake.
Very persuasive.
Get fucked!
oh my god, damn it. Well,
You were talking. Nick.
I wasn't, and they're the ones
I'm sorry.
paying the consequences now. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Wait. Does Bane
Oh.
we spell?
No,
I
it's a
don't
single target.
think
I believe.
so.
Just say-
It's 3 targets, but it's not an AoE. I don't think.
All right. You know what? Hang on. I'm GM fiating this. Hold up. Fuck. All right. It failed.
But you don't have to. It's fine.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to say I'm gonna rule that, and maybe I'll re-rule that later. But for right now, it's fine. It failed.
Okay.
It's a
All right. So minus a d4 on attack rolls, ability checks and saving throws. But you can try to save out of that each turn, though. Okay. And yeah, she's just gonna look up at Wolf now on this altar as a werewolf and be like, "You got it." Take a bardic inspiration.
It's all you.
Good boy.
All right. Fair enough.
Who's a good boy?
Make go. Make it happen.
All right, I will make it happen. All right.
Yeah.
Mako is going to run. Since Z went the other way, Mako is going to head over here and take aim with his crossbow.
Hold the hit. I should probably know what AC this thing has. What did I give it for AC? You know what?
Professional
Dan, not to-
organization.
And Dan, not to.
I'm a fan of transparency with my audience. Thank you very much. Also, that hits. Please roll damage.
Okay. So I do have. So technically, so does Tate, or does Wolf intimidating it? Huh?
If you're asking if it gets sneak attack, the answer is yes.
Okay, cool.
Just save me the time. If it gets sneak attack, the answer is yes.
Well,
First to
yeah,
regular
technically, we can use a bonus action to gain advantage as a rogue, but that's. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even necessary.
Well, I have a reason for it.
Extra d6s.
Okay. So that's 18 damage.
Yes.
Seems like it.
All right. It's taken 18 more. So yeah, you kind of
I
just
have a question.
Oh.
Wait, that's the wrong skill. Yeah, so we put the same attack damage. Oh, okay. So I have a skill that says when you deal sneak attack damage, you can target a second creature. I assume that means I can't target the same creature.
That's not exactly how that works.
Okay, then I will use my where is it? I'll use my cunning action to hide behind the statue.
Okay, go for it.
You roll stealth, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It would be
And
real
that is why I
unfortunate.
did not use my.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's
If these
it.
statues came to life, that'd be real unfortunate.
Fuck.
Oh,
What
those-
did- All right, the snake is up, and again, having sighted his furry prey, it just lashes up towards Wolf in anger and frustration, and probably some hunger too. So here comes an attack right. That hit you?
It does not because of the shifting +1 to AC. It was real close, but
All right, and then I guess this thing too. That also misses you.
it's definitely gonna miss.
So yeah, it just kind of it runs up to you. It like tries to nap it, like gnash at you with his teeth. You just kind of like push that to the side, and then kind of like beside you, the tail kind of like darts out. It tries to like sweep you aside too. You kind of just like jump over that. Not a problem. And yeah, that's it. This thing just seems frustrated. It's very angry that it can't seem to get at you. Ploy.
All right. Ploy, seeing this giant monster, looks at his javelins and says, I really hope I get these back. So he's gonna move.
I mean, if you don't, you might be able to upgrade when we're done.
Think of how many javelins you can make off of this thing.
Yeah, they're all ribs.
Very true.
Like
Think
that's
of
what
how
snakes
cool
are.
a fucking
A backbone
gemstone
is full of some ribs.
By the way.
And you would really love
Alright,
spinal cord.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
use.
Oh my god, you can make a whip out of that.
Yeah.
Good.
Make a living out of that.
I'm gonna take my bonus action to cast Ensnaring Strike at level.
Ooh.
Hello, is this Roz?
So, and then I'm gonna
What?
throw.
Is it my lizardy boy back from the grave?
Stop.
Alright, so I'm gonna throw the mummy javelin.
Do it. That's a hit.
Alright, so we got that.
All right, so that's 11 damage so far.
Yep.
What is that? Hold up, give me a second to calculate that. Okay, that's okay. Go, do it again. You get attack twice, right?
Yeah.
Go for
it. The other one.
That's a hit. Damage. Okay.
Alright.
That's 16.
Yep.
Yep.
Although, is that with the extra d8s of necrotic? Oh, it is. Never mind. Sorry.
Yep. Yep.
And also the snare strike pop. That's a dex save, right? Or the strength?
Let me check. It is a strength save. Large or larger creatures have advantage on the saving throw.
Thank God.
But don't forget the debuff from.
Yeah. So it's a minus.
Minus-
Oh no!
It doesn't matter.
Oh no!
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so yeah, so it fails. Yeah, as you throw the two javelins, both kind of like again like they impale on it on each, like one on each side, and kind of like let off that like inky blackness. Actually, I totally forgot that I made this thing to its own necrotic damage. So technically speaking, it actually took more damage than it just took. So yeah, Ploy, you definitely felt pretty certain that this thing had some like a lot of fight in it left. Definitely, like you definitely thought this thing was very healthy. But when you throw those javelins and like if they ping in it, it reels. Like it just like it lets out just this like absolutely just very angry roar. Just like it's very very unhappy and does not look good. And in doing so, it will use a legendary action. And so I'm gonna need.
Oh.
Yep. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, no. I need Wolf, Mako, and Ploy to make me dexterity saving throws right now, please. Ploy, you are good.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
You're all fine.
Dang, guys.
You're all fine, and
This is what we do.
Hold up, give me 1 second. I gotta actually get this how this works out.
I technically had advantage on that too, so yeah.
So yeah, you guys only take 4 necrotic damage then.
It takes away my temporary hit points from shifting.
There you go.
I'm still reeling from the last fight, so I could be looking better.
But yeah, so that's sort of, it just kind of like lets out like this like plume of inky black smoke at you guys, just like it exhales it in your direction, and it kind of just rushes by you all as you all dodge to the side and move out of the way. Mitz, you are up, and you'll notice that where previously this thing was like jumping and lashing at Wolf, it is now very, very much kind of like dipping backwards a bit, like it's maybe reconsidering its options a little.
Okay, so Mitz is going to head over here. And then they're going to this guy's still restrained, right?
Yep.
Okay, so So Mitz is going to then throw magic missile at this.
Hey.
Get away.
Classic.
What a classic.
All right, so that's
There's 3 of them, so do I have to cast this 3 times? Or what?
no, I think they all do the same damage, or do you roll damage each time? I think it's up to you, honestly. If you want to keep that 3 for all 3 of them, you can. You can also roll re-roll it again if you want for each one. I don't really care either one.
I mean, it's a 1d4 plus 1, so yeah.
All right.
We'll just keep the 3 for all of them.
All right. I will just triple the 3 for 9 total damage. So yeah, just kind of lash out with just like 3 tendrils of magical energy, kind of like lash and collapse into this guy. And yeah, it is not looking good, actually. Like, it's more stone scales are kind of, as you like stone scales fall away, you can see more like bone exposed. And in fact, you can even see this like strange kind of black energy kind of like staining it almost. But it does not look healthy at all. I mean, it never really did, to be fair, but, you know.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mitz?
Mitz does not have anything Mitz can do with bonus action, so Mitz is just going to leave it at that.
Wolf, hit it.
So now Wolf would like to rage. And, yeah, when he rages, I'm just deciding how I want to do this. We haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna... as he rages, he gets that extra bestial feature, and this time his tail, that was like a wolf's tail, it's like kind of longish and sleek, grows much longer, and all the hairs like stand up on end and become sharp spikes as he gets a long spiky tail.
I was like that dude.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's like this level of shifting beyond what a werewolf should be able to do, but it's like what Wolf specializes in. So, yeah, he has another weapon, and we'll see how that works later. But for now, we're just gonna roll 2 claw attacks at him.
Go for it. First one hits, second one misses.
These both have advantage because he's restrained.
Yes, so they both hit then, actually.
Aha.
Smack, smack.
Damage. Give me it twice. Okay. Anything else?
Also, I don't know how to set up rage, but that should have 2 more damage on both.
Oh, 2 more. So it's 2 more extra on both?
Yeah.
Well, then tell me how that happens.
Man, we've cycled this thing. Yeah, so I think this thing has like scales coming off of it, like you said.
Yep. It's
So
like,
I think both of these is Wolf like reaches in and grabs its spine and is basically just dragging it to the ground, trying to smack its head on a rock.
fair enough.
Just break it on top of this altar. Just.
Yeah. So the first at the first smash of the altar, it kind of reels. You kind of see like that, like one of these horns snap off. At the second one, that red glowing eye, one of them kind of goes black and you can't really see it anymore. It kind of just roars you with a little less power. There's a third smack, and then a fourth smack, and then a fifth one, and it just kind of slumps over very limply. You could see like a long coiling body kind of like hang all around the altar as this thing just falls over dead. And as it does so, a good chunk of the gems on the wall, that a lot of them that were glowing, also just kind of wink over and fall damp and quiet.
Wolf howls real loud from beating an enemy. Just
Well done. And I will bring you all out of initiative. As quiet falls back over the cavern, you sort of hear only the rushing of the water and a strange sort of very low humming coming from the remaining crystals that are making noise. You can hear a shifting that sounds very similar to that like stone slab lifting sound you heard earlier when the doors got lifted up. It's coming from distinctly behind you.
Chloe's gonna go check to see if those 2 javelins are still okay.
Yes.
Think that...
Oh, amazing.
Oh.
I thought I'd lose at least one during this. So,
Yeah. Look up and
So
yank them
Chloe
back.
suffered no casualties during this whole mission.
not single one. Nope.
Everything
No.
went fine.
Clear.
Everything
Yeah.
went fine.
Chloe
Fine.
didn't lose anything.
And
no.
Oh.
nothing of value was lost.
Mm,
All right,
it
and
hurts me.
All right, is there anything else you want to do extra in this altar room? There's a giant dead snake thing in front of you.
oh,
It's
I'm
Mitz
gonna
wants
try
to
to
study.
take as many
guess
materials
check
as I
Of
can.
course. all
Yeah.
over it. All the
Search
drawings,
for
all the
anything
things.
valuable.
Yeah, if you guys wanna
Search the room for anything
research
valuable.
this snake first, feel free. But I'm taking whatever I can after. So
Let's go,
be
Z.
quick.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like Zor'aa, like
So yeah, you go around again to gather notes on the gems and the cavern and the snake. The first thing you notice is that this thing is 100% not a natural creature of any variety. You could definitely tell this was some sort of construct constructed or built. In fact, Z, you're almost 100% certain this is whatever guardian the thing was talking about.
mhm.
So yeah, why and how it ate, who knows? But that's a thing. You also notice that again, it seems to have a lot of sort of gems, kind of along parts of its hide, and some of them actually look to be indissimilar, very very much look the same as the gems all over the cavern walls.
Mhm.
Animated by Bloodstone, maybe? Hmm.
That's what I was thinking. There's a weird energy to this room.
Definitely the same red gem. You can tell the one eye that's still good that Wolf didn't bash into an altar.
Ooh. Mitz is almost wanting to cast Detect Magic again.
But the question is the person that wrote these journal also the same person that made this, or was this already here? I don't know.
Hmm.
Important questions.
Can we try to our Mitz try to do an Arcana insight to check to see if they can determine maybe like some history around this or anything
Please,
about
feel
like
free.
okay.
All right. As you sort of begin to take a look at this thing, and you are, I imagine you're no stranger to reanimation magic or the magic of construction and things like that. It's not uncommon for a powerful enough magically imbued gem to be able to power a large construct, but most of the constructs you've seen in your day, even the ones powered by magical gems, are usually mechanical in nature. You can see the gears and inner workings of them and how they function and move. They just are powered by the magical gems. This is not like that. This is effectively just uh, just a large gem, just like a large skeleton almost, with plates of or scales of stone covering over it, animated by this magical energy you could imagine.
Animated with Bloodstone. I wonder if this has anything to do with the resonance they were speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
So by the way, if only some of the blood gems dimmed after we killed this, what do you guys think the odds are that there's at least one more?
I'm wondering if these are also powering, say, those mummies we found.
I mean,
If that's
sounds
the
plausible
case,
to me.
what
Perhaps.
do you think we should do about them? Destroy them? Take them with us?
I'm not sure. Considering this is a very sacred place, I'm not sure messing with them at all is a very good idea.
This did seem to be a temple, but Mitz is curious as to whether or not they worshipped this specific construct or not. Can Mitz make a religion insight on maybe
Sure.
like the inner workings of this sacrificial chamber?
Sure, go for it.
Religion.
Sad face.
As you're looking around, you get the sense that while this altar was definitely made for some sort of hallowed worship, none of the iconography around here depicts like a massive serpent or anything like that. You don't get the feeling that this thing was a figure of worship per se, but much more like what the book Z had said, some sort of guardian or protector of this place. Or at least
Yeah, I think it's more a symbol of defense. Like think about the fountains out there. They were snake heads and erupted beetles. Yeah, I don't know if it's the thing
Water.
that's yeah. There's also water.
Can Mitz try to throw something into there is a waterfall, right? Perhaps there's a cavern behind there.
you are, as you kind of look over at the waterfall and investigate, you kind of try to peer through it. You can definitely see a pretty solidly the cave wall behind it. This thing was more kind of like almost like basking in the waterfall more so than like out like hiding behind it in a cavern behind it.
It was training by sitting under the waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the sense this thing.
Haha.
Yeah, you get the sense that maybe this thing like slept underwater almost, probably because it didn't need to breathe.
Okay.
If you guys are done with this, can I take my parts? Or
I think so.
all right.
Mitz
All right,
is
boy, as
done
you
with
get your wet work, well, I guess it's not really wet in this case. You go dig into the ribcage. You notice that again, that black wispy energy is kind of fading away rapidly as this thing is, I guess you imagine, dying. You go to begin pulling off a few ribs here or there. You grab maybe 3 or 4 solid ones. You know you could make it to some suitable, material. Maybe even pull off a few stone. You could a few stone scales. You could probably fashion
definitely.
out of. And as you're doing this, that one red gem that was the other eye, the one that Wolf didn't like knock out, kind of just falls onto the ground next to your foot.
I'm gonna pick it up and look at it and say, should we keep this? I think we should keep this. Just so you know.
like just face palms is like, yeah, picked it up. Fine.
All right, and then pocket it.
All right. And that, again, there's sort of a strange sort of just like silence as you can, but again, as you look back to the cavern here, you can definitely tell that, again, like if you could tell by like, those hallways you were seeing here, you definitely know that one was the way you guys came. Another one likely leads back towards that main hallway. And that third one, you aren't really too sure where that one might go. But if you had to hazard a guess, probably towards that third room you couldn't get access to originally.
Should we keep exploring? We still
this
haven't
point-
found what we're looking for. I
Yeah.
don't believe.
Ploy is also a lot happier now that he's got extra javelin parts, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep exploring. I'm 100% down.
Who needs sunlight when you have giant snake ribs?
You move through a bit of a strange quiet. There is an almost awkward sense of calm as you walk back through the halls of this hallowed or once hallowed place. But as you approach towards that third hall, or you begin to walk down the third hall, the lights don't appear to be as well kept here. Much more dim, not as bright. The hallway itself is much more covered in cobwebs, not as well traveled. And as you find that third room, you see very heavy stone doors, which look like they might have once had some sort of locking mechanism on them, but not anymore. And so as you go up against them and push with a lot of effort, you might even have to gather a few of you together to push these doors open. You enter into a small, barely lit room, covered in cages and in bodies. And there is where we will end today.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, I hate
I
Yeah.
didn't
it.
know
Wondering
what
if these
those
were
sacrifices
sacrifices.
were about.
These
Yeah.
seem like sacrifices. for
These
sure.
seem like sacrifices to me.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out and watching and chatting and being friendly. This is I'm having a lot of fun with this campaign. I kind of like am writing a lot of it as I go, so I'm glad I have such awesome players here to like explore and create
Like
plot
a
hooks for me.
professional.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Next time, I promise we will get you guys back in town to actually do some things besides crawl around in this fetid fucking dungeon. I promise.
Ploy thanks you
mean,
from the
it's
bottom
fun.
of his heart.
I promise. But so yeah, next time we'll come back. We'll resolve that thing that just happened, and then we'll get you guys back to Wadal to check in with Shavalen on whatever the fuck just happened to you guys, and maybe get some food in you too while you're at it. Listen, more anyway. For those who have been tuning in, I am Young Foxxii, your dungeon master. I have been running this. You can find me at Twitter on @YoungFoxxii. That's YUNG_FOXXII. I dunk on right wingers a lot and talk shit. It's pretty fun, and occasionally my friends jump in and troll with me, and it's really, really fun. So yeah, follow me if you want to be a part of that. You can catch me here on this channel. I am both running this campaign and playing in a Cyberpunk Raid campaign, which is alternating Sundays. If you look on our Discord, which you can join, we also have a schedule full of plenty of content we're bringing this month, all kinds of fun stuff, including another campaign we're launching called In His Divine Name, which will be an Only War campaign, which I am also running, and Sir Heck is in, because I like to give myself more work. I don't know. Stay tuned for plenty of other things.
We run one shots that if you join the Discord, you might be able to take part in.
Yes, we run one shots. If you want to be in one shots and things, hop in Discord. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Don't worry. I'll also make a few announcements at the end of this, but for now, I'm going to turn it over to my players so they can say who they are, who they've played, plug their whatever they got going on, and then we'll get us out of here. All right? Take it away, Tate.
I'm Tate Washburn. I play Wolf the Shifter Barbarian. And yeah, you can find me mostly here. You can also find me on Twitter at kinda_writing, which, I do tabletop stuff, story writing stuff, politics, general musings. This is the more interesting place to find me. I'll be doing game streams every once in a while on here, and I'm the one running the Cyberpunk campaign that Foxxii just mentioned. So yeah, find me there.
Really good at it too.
Hey.
Can they hear you right now?
Amazing.
It's next.
No,
You gotta get out of here.
Michelle,
Go.
Go.
Okay, I'm Michelle. I have no social media, but I play Mitz, our Coatl folk wizard, who occasionally changes their pronouns, but for now they are they, them. Otherwise, I'm doing a thing in 2 weeks.
Well, don't worry. I'm gonna announce that. That's
Cool.
that's coming.
Great. I will
Hold
shut up
tight for
then.
that. Hold tight for that. Hold tight for that. Don't worry, it's coming.
Yep. All right.
Also in the Cyberpunk game. She
Yes.
plays the
That's
character in
you.
that.
She's my mom.
Yep. She's in that.
Sort
Hi,
of.
I'm Lucian. I play Ploy and by association Net as well. You can find me once again on Twitch once every year or two, but mostly just here. Find me here in this campaign.
That's about it, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Realistically, that's it.
all right. Hey guys, it's me, Sir Hecla. Now. What's up? I played Zanari, the Kalashtar Bard tonight. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sir Hecla. Even in the Neon Lights Roleplay Discord, if you haven't joined it already. You should. We have a fun time. We talk about birds and politics, and we write poetry sometimes and share it in there. It's a good time. Definitely do that. Like Foxxii said, of course, I'm in this campaign. You just saw me in it, but also the Only War campaign is coming up. I believe April 18th, if I remember correctly. So get ready for that. I'm also on a bunch of stuff on TPK Roleplay. So if you're interested in joining that community, go over there too. That is all I got.
Word.
And I guess I'm the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the last one. Hi, I'm Dan. I play Mako Sky, the Warforged Rogue, and I have a Twitter. It's at LandTheDan, 9 letters, 1 word. I am also in the Cyberpunk Red that we do every other Sunday. I play Huckabee, the doctor who keeps everyone from dying stupid deaths.
Done a great job so far. None of us have died yet.
We're all still alive.
Yo, shout out. Yo, actually, I know Lauren Robin from TPK, actually. Thank you, Lauren Robin, for the follow. Super appreciated.
What's going on?
Awesome.
Yeah, what's up?
Nice.
Thanks. So yeah, that's all of our remaining plugs. Please, like mentioned by Sir Heck, please come on, hang out in our Discord. There's a link on our Twitter. There's also a link in the chat. All those things. Hang out on Discord. If you want to be in one shots, like Lucian mentioned, we pull players for one shots directly from our Discord first. So if you want to be in a one shot, you should definitely do that. Speaking of which, if you look at our schedule, which is available on our Twitter, you can notice that we have 2 exciting D&D one-shot scheduled, both called Tavern Tales. They're going to be our sort of bi-weekly one-shot show we're going to do. And our absolute first one-shot show on April 14th will be a special one-shot written and ran by Neon Lights' own Michelle. She's going to be making her GM debut on the channel, running an adventure that she wrote herself that I helped her with small stuff on, but it's mostly just all her awesome work. We're going to have 4 super cool players. It's going to be super fun. You do not want to miss that. Be around for episode 1 of Tavern Tales. The day after that, I think we're doing nothing. But the day after that will be the Friday, which will be Neon Lights Game Nights. That's the 16th. We're doing a special game night that night where we're going to play Stellaris with all the people we can in the community. It's going to be super fun. Directly after that is another Seven Sons. And directly after that is the launch of the Only War campaign. And directly after that is the launch of our recap show. So we got, coming up in 2 weeks, we have like a Neon Lights super
month,
guys. It's gonna get wild. So be aware.
Because we're trying to hit affiliate.
Yeah, we're gonna hit affiliate. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be around. Got you, no problem. we are going to raid the Fey realm if they are alive. Are they alive?
They are live.
Well,
and
then
they're
we are
playing
raiding
among us
Are
right
they-
now.
We are raiding the Fey realm, and we are going to tell them we got an NPC killed. So everyone,
No,
raid Fey realm, tell them we
don't
got an
tell them
NPC
that.
killed. All right? We love
Tell
you
them we
all.
let him die. We let him. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we forgot that we forgot Mako doesn't exist.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell them whatever you want to tell them. Either way, we'll see you guys soon. We love you all so very much. Thank you for coming and hanging out. And we'll see you again. I guess we'll be back Friday for game night next Friday.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Game night next Friday, and then Cyberpunk after that. I got you. Bye, babies. I love you all.
Bye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, take us out. Nice.
Hey.
Well done, folks. You gotta have